I be chilling. How you doing?
Hopefully today there's no audio problems.
Yeah, I think it actually sounds way better than yesterday. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah.
Hmm.
hmm I wish that I used like the last of my data to like watch some some snippets of American and Flash, but I think my memory's still fresh enough that I can manage. Did you manage to see the Flash?
Yeah, I watched
Wow,
The Flash yesterday.
okay.
Yo, gents.
Was good, man.
Big dog.
Alright, how's it looking?
Ah,
It's chilly.
so far so good.
Alright.
I'm under the impression that there's a fourth correspondent.
Yeah, he's supposed to be coming up.
I bet. Otherwise, how you doing, Phil? It's been a while. It's been a while.
Not a damn thing's changed, man.
I want to say never change, but then that's a problem.
Never change.
As a redundant statement, dog.
God damn. Well, I'm literally in the middle of like examinations, so I'm like at home trying to study and shit, and I'm literally taking any opportunity I can to not study. So I'm welcoming this opportunity with open arms. I'm here to talk
God
shit.
damn it, hey!
I'm here for
Hey! Hey, no!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's who I am now. This is what we are.
Please, must be responsible, dog.
God damn, bruh. But like, it's like late though. Like, I'm trying. Like, I literally was studying like 5 minutes ago, and I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna do this. So after this, I'm gonna go back to studying. But like, shit, bro, I can't do this like straight for like 10 hours because that's basically what I told myself. I was just like, yo, you're gonna wake up in the morning. You're gonna wake up. It's gonna be what? It's gonna be 8. Once it's 8, you're just gonna start grinding till like 7, like 19 hours. So I'm not looking forward to studying. I have a whole lot of studying to do. Don't worry about me,
Hey,
Man.
bruh. And it's so buff, dog. Like it's just math right now, but then tomorrow I have to do finance, and I just have to alternate. One of the exams that I have was as an elective. It's a fucking joke, yeah. I'm not even lying to you guys. Let me tell you something. Can I tell you a secret? Let me tell you straight, bruh. I'm not
say,
gonna write that exam. That elective exam? Hell no, bro. I don't even give a fuck anymore.
what do
I
you
don't even
mean?
care.
Like
Like for real. I
you?
mean, I mean, I'm not gonna write that exam. I've had enough of this bullshit.
Passing.
Okay? Sacrifices had to be made, listen, maybe you don't
Nah,
understand.
you're fighting, dog. If the exam
Bruh.
has you pinned down and it's about to unbuckle your pants, let it.
Can I not understanding?
Wait
Last
a
time I
second.
went into that
Yeah,
lecture,
do we ever have a responsible person in our crew?
A responsible person.
the closest,
Yeah.
the closest was supposed to be me, but like life's boss right now, bro. Like
Yeah,
I sacrificed so much for work. Like it's bad. Like I've been working,
I
so I didn't even have chance to like really go to school like that.
at this point we're
Alright.
all on the same level of responsibility.
No, we're
Yes,
not.
sir.
We
No.
are.
Okay, Phil is a different. He's a different breed. Phil is a
The
different
thing,
breed, bro.
guys, I've degraded my mental state.
You've degraded your
Bless
mental
you.
state.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Like on purpose,
I
Like you
you've
literally
done
lost.
it to yourself.
not even on purpose. Like I can't even say it's one of those things where I woke up and it was 2 years later and I was, something else. But nah,
Uh,
it was an active choice that I made every single day. Every single time I woke up, I asked myself, "Am I going to be a better man today?" And my answer was always no.
That's crazy.
I
Like he
I
didn't
pick
choose violence. He chose complacency.
I picture him looking in the mirror, pointing at himself. Is like, do better. It is like, nah.
That's Why you gotta be in my face like that,
Why?
bro?
Nah, man. The
Oh
thing is,
shit.
like, the last time I got drunk was like last week after like 2 months of not drinking. And
Huh.
the first thing that I did
Oh,
when I
come
was
on.
drunk was just looking at some of my old writing, and I'm like, I haven't written shit in 2 years.
Damn. Mm-mm.
Hey, it's to jump back
Mm-mm.
on it.
I don't know. See, last time I talked to Phil, he was on some. I'm on like the greatest binge of gaming of all time. I'm trying to make a character that I'm not good at, but I'm trying to like get like this narrative down. And like once I get like somewhere close to that narrative,
Huh.
I'm gonna get bored with it and do something else. Like that's like what his basically explanation was. I'm like, but
I did that.
like that's an addiction at that point. Like, bro,
No, no, no. Hey, no, I did that. I'm done with the game. I've done it all.
mom.
Hey,
What? What's left to do then? Like, wait, what's
Nothing.
what? Damn, that's worse. That's worse, man. Uh-uh.
when you finish the game, then you start
Nah, we need
exploring the
some.
map.
I did
Huh?
that. No,
Damn.
it
We
was
need
like
shock therapy, guys.
I kept on coming up with characters that I thought of playing, and since I had gotten to the point where I had mastered the grinding level of the game, that getting to level 30 was just a 4 hour excursion. And I was just like,
Damn.
okay, I can build any character within 4 hours. I've built them all. There's nothing more for me.
Huh.
Mom.
There's no
Okay,
more
so we got
characters.
Look at this
I
guy
even did a complete build.
coming up with the Naruto headband.
one nigga trying to flex on us. He was
Props.
so crusty as hell. He's like
Props,
prepared,
bro.
prepared. Like,
I just came back from a shoot. I just came back from a shoot, and this was a problem.
okay, okay.
Nah, props. I love it.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
No respect.
so
Oh,
I hear you guys started without me. What are we talking about?
nah, we
Why
haven't
is guys
started.
catching up to you?
Okay,
What did
how's
he say?
how's it, guys? How you doing? So this is the first episode of the YouTube video series that I'm putting out. It's gonna be a two-part movie review. First we're gonna start up with American Psycho, and then the next coming up is The Flash 2023. So have you all watched American Psycho?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So should we just jump into it and
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I thought you was gonna start, but like anybody can start, right? Should I start?
honestly, I watched the
I'm
film.
really here for. Yeah,
I
yeah. Start, Junior. Start.
I watched the film and I was hella confused, so I would not have anything to say about this film.
No, but what did you think
What?
of it though?
What did I think about
Exactly,
it?
because you can't just say. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was very confusing. I did not know what was happening. At the end, I was like, what is the message or what is the point? There was a few times where I was like,
Wow.
yeah, I get it. Like, right? I get it, but okay.
Now, honestly, for me, it was just one of those movies where it's like we've accepted it as cultural belief that it's one of the best movies ever made because people keep talking about it to this day,
Hmm.
and I just don't
You
get
just
to
don't.
be
I don't
hyped.
know.
You just don't.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like there's an argument to why it made it into meme culture. I very much actually see exactly why it made it into meme culture. First of all, other than the aesthetics of the film, like it doesn't project itself as your typical film. I mean, if you look at the other movies in the 2000s, they do have obviously the same camera quality because that was like the best in the industry. But
Hmm.
how the cinematography goes about the movie, I feel is a standalone in its own. In its own right, I think it has something to show, and that's just from the aesthetic, just from the looking side of you. But other than that, I feel like it took a journey. I didn't actually find myself very confused with the movie. I actually really enjoyed what it had to say because I think it was a philosophy about the human condition, like any good movie, but more from a psychopath's perspective. Everybody's told that a psychopath is just this cold, shark, cold, or what's this thing, iced over eyes type of individual who doesn't really give a fuck about things and really doesn't suffer the way a regular human does. And all they do is get what they want and then leave. But this was a movie which I haven't seen, and in any other situation, it's unprecedented, where we have a character who says, "Look, I'm not even human, okay? I am literally just a mask for you to see, and yet I'm suffering. I still don't understand myself. I still don't understand why it is that I do the things that I do. I am still suffering. I still have insecurities, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful for me. I don't know what you.
You
I
think that
don't know
was
how nobody found that.
executed like in terms of coming onto screen or being showed to the audience? That was executed perfectly.
I would. Okay, like at the beginning of the movie, I won't even lie. It was stark. It was not easy to digest. Like I'm not even gonna enjoy. I'm not even gonna go around and say, oh no, that movie made me feel good, or it was like and it was a beautiful experience type of a movie. That wasn't. It wasn't about that. It was like literature, to be honest. Some books, when you read literature books or some philosophy books, they ain't about the ease of digestion. It's about the struggle. You kind of have to go through it for you to understand where they're coming from. And it was never a movie that was meant to be digestible. It
Hmm.
wasn't for like the larger audiences for people to come and take in and like really enjoy that shit. It was trying to get the message out there. And in a sense, because it did what it did, it kind of also helped the story, the theme go along. We're not supposed to get comfortable when we're getting into the minds of a psychopath. Let's just like get that premise from the beginning. If you're comfortable getting in the mind of a psychopath, then yeah, clearly there's something wrong with you. Like, yeah, that's a problem. So that movie was not about getting comfortable. That movie was not about enjoyment.
And
It was
Bosha,
about, for me at least, the human condition in
Bush,
something that
okay, wait,
isn't
wait, wait.
human.
Bosha,
You
what
know.
did you think?
Huh?
That's
Well, what did you think about the film?
just like nodding. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is actually my third rewatch of American
Wow,
Psycho,
that's
and I've
crazy.
also read the book that the film was adapted from. And I hear you
Wow.
guys' takes, yeah. But I just want to say, first and foremost, to me, the entire film and the book
Mhm.
was satire. It was
Satire.
making
Yeah.
fun of a lot of things. And
Yeah.
halfway through the movie, I was just like laughing. I was laughing. I was literally laughing because it's like this is
Mhm.
hilarious. Like
Wow.
this
Okay.
is funny
Mm.
because in my circle of friends, there are a couple of
Mhm.
gents that I know that are always like, "Oh my gosh, Patrick Bateman is so real. I want to be like Patrick Bateman. Like I just want to be as good as Patrick Bateman, bro. Like, he's not an alpha. He's a but
Sigma
like
male
okay,
drive set.
Sigma male thing. But
Yeah.
he really want the people look at Patrick Bateman and they say, "Oh yeah, that's how it should be." And I feel
Mm.
sorry for those people, especially men,
Yeah.
because um, that movie was a warning. Like, you end up
Oh.
doing shit like that, you end up like Patrick. Of course, there were other things like
Mhm.
mental health, like there was a psychosis and other
Mhm.
mental disorders that Patrick was like suffering from. And
Mhm.
what I found very interesting on this third rewatch, but like you mentioned,
Mhm.
you said that it's not a film that you should feel comfortable watching. It's supposed to like
Mhm.
provoke you in a certain manner, and that's so true.
Exactly.
But haven't you noticed how everyone in Patrick's circle was more or less the same person? Like
Pretty much. Yeah.
exactly. So what the question was, why would Patrick want validation from people who are just like him? You know what I mean? Because if you've
Yeah.
seen, like, there was a scene where
Mr.
Paul Paul Allen mistakes Patrick for someone else, right? And it's like,
Mhm.
nigga, Patrick. Like, Patrick is
Bruh.
trying so hard to fight against a society, not to sound like some hippie, but like Patrick is trying so hard to fight against the society that sees him just like any other gent out there. No one is
Mhm.
striking. literally no one is striking.
Hmm.
So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's how I digested the film. And towards the end, I was like, oh, okay, I see. It's open for interpretation. So what you feel
Mm-hmm.
like is the ending is the ending to you.
So
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
can I ask you guys a question? So like, were the events of the movie
Yes.
real or not? Because I came out at the end thinking half of it was real and half of it was not. So I'm confused.
I
Can you?
just thought those
I
were
think.
intrusive thoughts.
Huh?
Okay, you're
I
saying.
just thought those were intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive thoughts.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Like whenever he goes on bloody gore rampage, I'm just thinking he's thinking to myself, I could do this. I could do what's stopping me? Oh yeah, Jay, probably.
Mhm.
Nah, it was just intrusive thoughts for some of those things.
So he didn't actually
I
do.
Like with
I
him and the sex workers.
I
What?
think I think that he actually did it. For me, this is my interpretation. Okay, this is a psychopath guy. This is a narcissistic guy, and he's in a position of privilege. He's surrounded by people who are very influential, who have a lot of money, and they get to do big things. Hell, they don't even spend most of their time at work doing work because that's just how much valuable they've been positioned in society. Like they don't even have to work anymore. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so this guy, his mind is slowly unraveling and he's slowly losing control. That's basically what the story was. This is a guy who's a narcissist, is a psychopath. So he's losing control and what's this thing? Having lost that control, he trying to gains it in different ways. We all do that, honestly, as a human being. We all try to like have some form of escapism. You know what I mean? So his escapism as a psychopath is to kill people. You know what I mean? And so I generally think he was doing all of these things. But at the end of the movie, he calls his lawyer, and when he calls his lawyer, he's like, "Hey, bro, I did all of these terrible things." Once again, because he's in a privileged position in society, the lawyer actually steps in and then actually orchestrates everything to clean up the bodies, to get everything off his case and stuff like
No,
that,
no, no, no,
and
no.
to make sure that the deal is sealed, to make sure that, oh, what's this thing? The story that I just cleaned up never comes out. I have to also make him believe that he never actually did any of those things. So he doesn't go around spreading the message saying, "Oh, I kill people, I kill people, I kill
That's
people." Otherwise, people are gonna look into it.
that's
The
fucked,
lawyer told
dog.
him, "Yo, I don't know what you're talking about." But like in his eyes, if you look at the lawyer's eyes, you see that this nigga knows exactly what he's
But
talking about.
what I saw
And the
from him was
funniest thing
confusion, dog.
I see where you're coming from. I saw complete understanding, but
Really?
because so much money already went, like these guys are paid tens of thousands of dollars per hour. Like there's a reason for that shit. You know what I mean? This is a powerful person, so powerful he doesn't even know how powerful he is in a sense, and that's just the world that they live in.
But then
All
what
of those
about the
kind of
thing he
people.
said where it's like, I think this was also confusing for me, but he's like, I'm Patrick, and then the guy was like, no, you're not. I saw Patrick last week, or something like that.
I see where you're coming from, but for me, I think that was just to like make sure that the story in his mind continues. Because yes, we understand that this guy's mind is breaking down,
Hmm.
but what people kind of make, at least in my understanding, what people make the mistake is just because you're breaking down in one aspect of your mental health doesn't mean you break down in all places. This guy wants to kill people, but that doesn't make him all of a sudden forget what he did or how he did it, or he doesn't strike me as somebody who's schizophrenic. That's like a different kind of disease to what he's been suffering the entirety of the movie. So the more I look at it and the more the people around him like act and the position that he is in society, the more I realize it's more likely that all of this shit actually did happen. But like he's just so troubled like that he has no control that, it's almost
Do
hard
you
to
know what I
believe.
think? I
That's
think
my
if something in the film has happened, one of the murders that has happened, it would be the one where he kills that beggar guy in the street and then he runs away. That one I see it
okay, for
totally
sure. For
happening. But
sure.
then everything else, I think it's quite implied that he imagined it. Because the closet, when he comes back
Okay.
to the closet, there's no bodies inside. And they're like, this house is not yours. What do you mean? Bosha?
That's But that's crazy because if the house was not his, right? then that means he imagined an entire character. Like, remember,
Yeah.
somebody used to live there before, killed that person. So if he goes to that place, then that means that person should have been exist at all, at all. You know what I mean? So to imagine an entire person that he feels inferior to, that's crazy, bro. That's like X Games. Like the only way you can allow yourself to believe that all of it was fake is if from the very get-go man's has been destroyed. Like nothing should make sense from the beginning, otherwise all of it is true till the end. That's my take, that's me.
You know what I think? I think the problem with the problem with film as a medium as a whole is that it demands answers. Because if people
Mm,
had read the book, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, it's not about whether it was real or not. I feel like we're always asking the question, was it real? Was it not real? And I feel like sure you can indulge that thought, you know what I mean? But then
mm,
does that will that change anything? Because remember, from a
mm,
psychotic person's point of view, it might as well have happened. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I don't think the
true.
question is for us to answer. I think it's for us to just be like, damn, that's another point of view that I didn't consider thinking about. You know what I mean? Because
Mm, mm,
the problem with, like, I'll keep on saying, but film demands answers. The minute you adapt any source material into film, you have to provide the
mm,
audience with answers. And the minute
mm,
those audience members start asking these questions about, oh, was it real, was it not, then you've done a disservice to the film. You know what I
Mm.
mean? But
mm.
from a book perspective, it's like, oh my gosh, that was not to sound like a hippie, but it was like, that's so deep. You know what I mean? Like, oh my
Bruh,
God,
that's
we really
trippy,
need to
bro.
think about it. We really need to think about it. Was it real? Was it not? That doesn't matter. What matters is that this guy is actually
Mm,
batshit crazy. You know what I mean? So it
yeah.
really doesn't matter if it was real or not. To Patrick, it might as well have been real. And we are in Patrick's shoes. Therefore, we are led to believe from a
Mm,
film perspective what it really did happen. And that everybody around him is just happening to gaslight him. And that
mm,
just
mm.
that just hypes up American Psycho. Like, psychosis
True,
isn't
true.
normal. I feel like you look at this thing from a very normal, very stable-minded point of view, and that's not
Mm.
gonna work for you. You gotta put yourself in
True.
Patrick's shoes and be like, damn, now they're now they're gaslighting me. I gotta kill all these fuckers. Like, that's how I
True.
see
And
it
like
anyway.
I actually love the way you actually put that perspective on because that's part of the challenge of the movie. You cannot, or it's not easy to put yourself into some person's shoes like this. Like at the end of the day, we're talking about the man. We're talking about a white privileged individual. Like none of us have that kind of experience. So to even put yourself in that world to begin with is a challenge. And like you have to kind of accept that misogyny is just part of the conversation. And
Mm.
yes, I know it eats into different kinds of conversations, even all the way down here with us poppers and shit. But like for me, that was uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. It was uncomfortable for me. But like I realized that while I was still watching the show, that it is not about me getting comfortable. Another thing that you mentioned was that this was a warning, if you will, to individuals, and it's a lot like I'm gonna have to borrow Rick and Morty. Everybody says Rick is God level. You know what I mean? Rick is the one, and everybody kind of like aspires to be this person, but he's the bad guy. He's actually the villain. You don't want to be Rick. And I feel like because as the show matures and we're like entering new seasons, we're starting to see that bit by bit because his strengths start looking like weaknesses, and that's the advantage I feel like series have over movies, in which we're so used to the series content because we now get more closure. Eventually you can't watch a series until you get to a point where, I mean, eventually when you watch a series, you get to a point where you need some kind of answers because new questions keep popping up and you don't want to pile up. So the series kind of helps address that. But with this movie, you don't really have that opportunity. You don't have that opportunity for closure for these things to really say, okay, fine. Because, like, this guy didn't suffer any consequences. Let's start there. And
Mm.
society will tell you that, oh, don't do this bad thing because bad thing equals consequences. But just watching the movie alone, we're now we're now given like a world, we're given a perspective where, okay, it's bad, but now you have to come up with reasons why, you know? and for yourself, not because other people told you. Because at the end of the day, if I kill literally 40 people and I get away with it, where am I sitting in society? Where am I sitting in my mind frame? Do I just excuse myself and say I'm destroyed and demented? I'm a psycho? Or let me just be honest about the fact that I had cravings and I chose to do these things. Like, look at that scene with the I don't know the gay nigga's name. Because we know he's gay and there's no problem with that. I'm kidding. What's this thing? This guy in the bathroom. He was
Yeah.
like, he was about to choke the life out of him. You know what I mean? And then he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I feel you too. I wanted this for a long time." Man's decided I don't want to do this anymore. Like, which means he had choice in the matter. Like, he could choose to kill somebody or not, but like he didn't in that situation, he did in others. So in my mind, I'm thinking that like there's a fine line between being a psycho and not a psycho. But at the end of the day, there's a level of responsibility that you have to all of this. There is a level of responsibility.
Yeah.
So
Guys, I kind of want to ask this question, so like, just give me a second while I try to articulate it properly. But with movies like this, like you guys are talking about how sometimes there's this message that goes over people's head, and they start relating to these characters so much they just ignore everything else. With things like American Psycho, Rick and Morty, and more famously Fight Club,
Oh yeah.
where the intent of the author is this shit is batshit insane, but some people will look at it like, that's my dude, dog. Like, do you feel like it's a failure on the part of the author, movie director, or is it a failure on the part of the media literacy of the person consuming the media itself? Or another theory is that we just have different moral compasses, and these things click for someone and it doesn't click for you.
oh shit.
I, I I think that's actually an interesting question to bring about because I feel like there's a marriage between both of the theories that you're talking about, but it probably holds true to the latter. I was reading this passage, I forgot where, but basically, art is supposed to be a mirror to society. That's what basically it is. So, film, books, shows, songs, they basically say, okay, I am the creator of this piece of art. This is what I see from the world, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm just going to portray what I'm feeling, what I'm doing with whatever level of what's this thing talent I have. And then the society comes in, and because it's a subjective piece of something, because it's a subjective thing, each person looks at the mirror and sees their own reflection. It's not supposed to be this anecdotal scientific experiment clear cut thing where it says this is what I'm showing you, A equals to B. It's really an open-ended question. Any form of art is. So you're correct in saying that different people can find different things inside a specific what's this thing piece of art. But I would have to also argue to say that sometimes the talent of an author truly is aiming to go for one thing or another. He can truly aim to say, I am trying to show that there is a villain in anybody, or I'm trying to show that the power of friendship is more powerful than everything, or something like that. And then when that person sees that, it'll be like, how does that resonate with me in my life? And so now that's what the interface happens. They would look at this film and say, okay, fine, we see a show about a villain who's clearly a villain. And then there are people who says, I like villains. Fuck all y'all niggas. And then the others who are saying, this
I'm
is a
not gonna
win.
lie, I still fuck with Homelander, man.
Okay. I actually agree with you to some degree. I fuck with Homelander because he's entertaining. But I won't want to be on the same planet as the nigga. Like, not even the same.
No, it depends. Do I have superpowers or not?
Yeah. Whether or not you have superpowers, how do you even want to be in the same room with him? Like,
Hey, look, man.
this is
If
a guy
you
who-
have superpowers and you follow his lead,
Phil becoming a white
you might end up
supremacist.
getting lazy, but you know.
I refuse. Look at what's the Aquaman League equivalent
Deep.
of
Oh,
boys?
nah, nah, nah.
The
The
deep,
deep
yeah. Look at the deep.
glazes that man. The deep glazes that man. The deep is always safe and
No,
secure with the way he glazes.
no, but like
Hey,
I'm sorry, like fine.
Guys, can we not idolize Homeland? Like
Please,
that's
like
crazy.
I'm afraid of
That is
afraid, my
crazy.
guy.
No, but man has the
No, like
She
ability
think
to
about it.
like do what he wants and not be criticized for it. Not criticized, but
True. I mean, everybody's up to date, right? There will be no spoils over here for anybody if I talk about it.
no, I'm not up to date. I'm not up to date. I'm
You're
not up
not
to
up to
date.
date.
I'm not up to date.
Shit.
No,
Damn.
no.
Okay, wait.
Okay,
I
I'm
have a
glad that I
question,
asked because I
guys.
was going to give like a major spoil. Uh-huh.
So, in terms of like the whole misogyny item and reflection of the author, you guys, there's a
Okay.
scene where like this guy was talking with the other guys. I don't know what they were talking about. Basically, they were saying
Okay. Yeah.
a typical boy discussion where they were like, all women are the same, and I think
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
they said something like, if you give her money or something like that. So is that a reflection of me if I laugh at that, where I say, oh shit, me and my boys have said something similar, or I find that very funny because that's such a guy thing to do? So is that a reflection on me?
Oh, that's such a great
Deep
question.
question.
I'm so glad you asked
Yeah.
it. And let me be the first
I
to tell
like
you,
the
you're a piece
smash
of
here. Yes.
shit if you do that. You are a piece of shit if you laugh along with them. But no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Uh,
No, but the thing is, Gina, if you laugh and you feel bad about it, you should start introspecting. The mere fact that you asked this question, shows that you know deep down that's not how it's supposed to be. You know deep down you're not supposed to be talking about another human being like that.
Huh.
And the fact that you're laughing and you're like, oh damn, I shouldn't do that. You're human. Therefore, that message doesn't apply to you. Some
Okay.
people they do it without even thinking about it. And just to backtrack a little bit, also, the whole thing of the subjectivity of the film and how most people get a different take from it. I feel like we need to start having conversations about how the author's intent and people's take on the author's intent are two very different things. Because the author could say killing is bad. I'm pretty sure the people who made the boys were like, yeah, no, these people, they're batshit crazy. You shouldn't be like
Yeah.
them. Should
you know,
someone
they actually
have
thought it was pretty disgusting.
power?
They hated the experience. You're actually right. Continue.
Exactly, yeah. But then there are some people out there that are like, dude, Homelander fucks, bruh. He's the shit. I want to be like Homelander. And that's where the line of that's where the discourse comes in. You're like, no, you shouldn't be like that, but you should be like that. And really, there is no straight answer towards these things because it's like asking how many 7 billion people on the planet, you'll have 7 billion different answers. Most of them will be like, no, it's bad.
Wait,
Some will be like, oh, it's good. So it really just depends on you at the end of the day. It really
Okay.
just depends on you.
Okay.
I feel like see the thing is if you laugh I feel like there's some things actually I think it's a good segue for something I was trying to say. Like I think that some things are just inherently funny. Okay? That's just the fact of the reality. Okay? You can make a good joke. Like to laugh is basically your brain figuring out a connection between two things that were completely unrelated. The immediate physiological response is to laugh. You know what I mean? That's just like the science behind a lot of laughter. So like for example, a person can, and there are a lot of comedians out there who will say the most racist of things, but at the end of the day, you're thinking that was super racist, and
I think like your
it's
audio is
not because
having a bit of a problem.
oh sorry, can you hear me
Yeah, you keep like you keep breaking
properly?
up.
Hello,
Yeah.
I was breaking up. Okay,
Yep.
shit. Where the last left, you guys?
You were talking about basically laughing is more of a psychological response.
Okay, yeah, physiological response. And I was basically saying that some things are inherently funny, and sometimes comedians can go around and then they would say some really crazy racist things, but because they say, damn, again?
No, The funny thing is, you
You know
broke
what?
up on the
Somebody else
same
talk. I've been
sentence
talking.
twice. It's like after you say they
That
say the
is
most
crazy. I
racist
think
shit.
who owns Google? Oh snap! Maybe it is.
It's
Maybe
a
that's a
white man
thing.
trying
That's
to
actually
silence
a
all of
thing.
y'all.
Because
It's
like,
a white man.
right, some censorship, bro. Like some CIA. My point was basically this: some things are funny inherently, and they really make you see things in a different light. Not because you and in yourself you believe in those things, but they arm you with a different perspective. You know what I mean? And that's what art does all the time. And so I can watch that show and say, yeah, that misogyny, that was not my cup of tea. But at the same time, that was a hilarious joke. So I can get to see the world that they live in. And I'm now almost, I wouldn't say connected, but now I'm involved.
Mm.
Like if I didn't hear these type of people say those things, I would never know, you know. But now I'm kind of involved and I understand what kind of world these people live in. I can sympathize but not empathize. And I feel like that's something that's quite necessary in the world we live in. Too many people talk about how,
Don't you have
oh
that
no,
backwards?
all, huh?
Don't you have that backwards? Empathize is more of understanding, is it not?
No, no. I actually want to use the word sympathize and not empathize. The reason why I'm saying is that a lot of people out
Sympathize sounds
there
like you're writing for.
sympathize. I'm saying it's not as connected. Sympathize is I understand your situation, but I don't feel what you feel. I don't want to be in your shoes. I don't want to understand. I mean, yeah, I don't want to involve myself deeply. And then empathize means I'm gonna put myself in your shoes. I'm gonna live in your world, and I can put myself there.
Okay,
That's
someone
at
pull
least
up a
my
dictionary.
understanding.
Someone pull up a
No,
dictionary
no.
because I've been
Let
having
me
that argument
finish.
for
Let
years.
me finish what
Wait,
I'm trying
wait,
to
no, he's
say.
right though. He's right. He's right. Sympathy is like, oh, that's terrible. And then empathy is like, shit, that
Exactly.
was me last week. You know what I mean? So
Exactly, exactly. And I'm saying that I feel like the world has is it's always talking about how you have to empathize with people, right? But it never wants to empathize with the villain. But worse than that, it doesn't even want to sympathize with the villain. We're not looking at Hitler and saying, "Oh, hey, I understand your situation," or truly getting into their shoes. We're saying this guy is completely and utterly evil. I don't even want to think about it. And I feel like that has stopped the world today from truly getting into other people's shoes, from truly like getting together. Because the moment you truly villainize somebody, you won't even hear what they have to say. You won't even say, oh no, this is the world that they live in. So, American Psycho, for example, this is a psychopath who kills people. The art is making us see how to at least sympathize because we can't empathize with his position. I don't want to be a killer. I don't think it's a good thing. And at least art is coming in to give us sympathy, if anything at all, rather than completely throwing away the possibility of even imagining myself as a psychopath, if you will.
so
That's
did
what
you
I'm trying to say.
sympathize with him?
I sympathize with him actually. I did sympathize with him. The reason why I sympathize with him is because this guy was suffering, and everybody suffers. And whatever his reasonings or his coping mechanisms, I do not approve of them. So I do not empathize with his position. But I do sympathize with the fact that this guy is suffering. This guy is human. And he's got whatever weird combinations of idiocracies and inclinations. But at least he has that. And I can interface with that. But I'm not going to be limited to not being at all available to it. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you make sense. You make sense. I'm just trying to figure out where, in which part of the film you sympathized with him in. Like, which part was it? If you can give an example.
I think I personally I suffer, at least my own personal take. I suffer from like an inferiority complex. I think everybody's better than me.
Mm.
That's what I live my life on. So I work really, really hard to like try and make myself like somebody. So this guy, he's obviously rich. He's obviously got money. He's obviously, in a privileged position in life. But at the same time, he's out here comparing himself with people, even over the most smallest insignificant things, like a business
Mm.
card. Like his whole week was ruined just because some other person had curls in like his letters. Like imagine that. And he felt something there. He didn't feel anything when he stabbed somebody other than maybe the adrenaline rush. He didn't feel anything when he lied about being connected to some restaurant, but he did feel inferior when somebody showed him their business card.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
I can now walk away from that movie thinking that psychopaths can feel, because every other media outlet I've ever watched is these guys are literally cold blooded. They literally don't feel anything but the
Hmm.
joy of killing. You know what I mean? So I learned something from this film.
Oh, that's.
Cool.
I feel you.
Cool.
So can
I
I?
just always took it as people having different priorities, you know?
Okay.
Oh.
No, that thing of like how he's able to care about literal business cards. Basically the
Mm-hmm.
equivalent of I have some fresh Nike Jordans and you're walking and you're
Mm-hmm.
walking around with Reeboks. That was
Facts,
something that
facts.
touched him because it's something he cares about. But when it comes to actual human life,
Mm-hmm.
very few fucks to give.
Hmm.
Other than it would be
Okay.
inconvenient for him to get arrested.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
true.
So can
In my mind, I never imagined. Uh huh. Yeah. Go, go.
I want to
Continue.
ask also like talking about like his priorities whenever he comes into a conversation with some girl or some woman, is it just me who saw it as he doesn't actually listen to what they're saying and it's a mere thing
Easy.
of he responds but he's not fully in the conversation.
I hear you.
No,
I
no.
hear you.
You're
I hear you
absolutely
one
right,
hundred
bro.
percent. Because I
You're
don't know
ab-
if you. Oh, sorry. You were saying.
no, no. Speak.
Oh, okay. So, um, that part is something I've always wanted to touch upon because like this guy's a dick. I don't know. Like I don't know if you remember the scene. I don't know if you remember the scene where he invited another escort to like sort of smash together with him and the other blonde girl.
Yeah.
And while they're
Mhm.
fucking, he's looking at himself in the mirror and he's like, he feels like he's hot shit. And I'm just there like, Brazil. But you're not present. You're not present.
Bruh.
There's something fundamentally wrong with you, dog. If you're smashing and then you look at yourself in the mirror to see if you look good while smashing, there's
Bruh.
Hey
something
man,
is wrong with
I understand that.
Honestly,
no,
look,
no, no, no,
Nas is
no.
attractive as hell. If I look like that, I'll be looking in the mirror as well. I'm sorry, bro.
Exactly, bro.
I look like that too, but
Look at how much that man puts into his fucking body. Why would he not be looking at himself like, my boy?
But the thing is, it's like it disconnects you from what you're doing at that present moment. You have two hot bitches in your bed, and you mean to tell me the only hot bitch you could look at is yourself?
Yes.
As a man, as a man,
All
what are
these
you doing? You
people,
might as
they're
well be
just
screwing other
walking
men.
fleshlights. They don't matter.
Okay, okay.
They're just walking fleshlights. They don't matter. It's about him, man.
I think
That's a
actually
crazy
he's
take.
correct. Actually,
That's a
it's
crazy
about
take, but I see where you're coming
no,
from.
he's crazy. No, he's absolutely crazy. I agree with you, but like, let's not put that down. Let's close that box because we done with that. At the end of the day, other than the fact that he's crazy, like Phil was saying, he's only there for the vibes. He's there for like the experience, and his take on the experience is to feel powerful. He wants to feel like a king. He
Hmm.
wants to take back what he had lost in the workplace. You know what I mean? So the girls are literal props because at the end of the day, he literally doesn't care about them. He doesn't care about human life, not just because it's insignificant to kill them, but I feel like another aspect that we're failing to realize, or maybe we're just beginning to, is even a live person means nothing to him. That's why it means nothing to kill them. You see
Hmm.
where I'm coming from? So it's not about the fact that, oh, hey, I'm afraid to kill somebody because life is precious. It's because I'm literally looking at a calculator right now, and this calculator happens to help me get orgasms. If I have to kill it, I will. It doesn't really matter to me. At the end of the day, I look good in the mirror and I feel like I'm enjoying my night. That's what I think his mindset's from. That's the priorities that Rose was talking about.
Hmm.
So crazy. So
So
crazy.
also can I ask
Damn.
why why does culture or why is it that meme culture you would find that Patrick Bateman is seen as the top guy or a person in which someone would admire to be like, but someone such as Andrew Tate would not.
Wait, aren't they in the same WhatsApp group though?
They're on the same WhatsApp group. But I feel like
Yeah.
They're pretty much.
um
Like with the Sigma male grind set, aren't they basically getting the same things that they get from Andrew Tate that they get from Patrick?
what I'm asking is, for me it seems like Patrick is easily more digestible than Andrew.
Yeah, because have you heard the shit that Andrew says? His whole entire thing is being a fucking shock jock.
Uh
Like Andrew Tate relies on that type of humor of you shouldn't be saying that, and that's what's so funny about the joke that you're saying. Like, if a woman sleeps with 40 men, you should stone her.
Ma, I'm
Wait,
pretty sure he's
You
probably-
just laughed at that. You just laughed at that.
wait,
Yes.
wait, Gio, what was the question? What was the question?
I'm asking, why is it that
No, he was asking why Andrew Tate is more or less accepted than Patrick Bateman, and Patrick is more digestible because he doesn't rely on shock jock humor.
yes.
Oh,
Plus-
okay.
Technically speaking, murder is not treated the same as human trafficking.
Okay.
True. Okay, but then that's an
Wait,
interesting
wait,
question.
wait,
Which one's
wait,
worse?
wait. Gio,
Hmm.
your question was, why is Patrick Bateman more digestible than Andrew Tate?
Hmm.
Okay, so I feel like, first of all, Patrick doesn't exist, so thank God. And
He probably does.
second of all,
Different name.
Patrick Bateman is a reflection, right? But he's not the real deal. You can't be mad at a reflection. The fact that Andrew Tate actually exists and there are people like him in the real world, like that dissonance that you get from seeing what you saw on TV but manifested as real, gives you the shock of your life.
Okay.
It really gives you the shock of your life because you're like, damn, I thought, like I said, this movie was satire. People be like, oh, that's so satirical. I can't believe like people like that actually exist. That can't be real. And then you see a living, breathing manifestation of Patrick Bateman as Andrew Tate, and it's like, fuck, that's actually real. So now what do we do? You know what I mean? So that's why Patrick is more palatable because at the end of the day, when you switch off that laptop, when you think about your TV, you're like, hey, thank God it's only on the screen. But then the minute you
Okay.
see a YouTube video of someone as real as Andrew Tate, you're like, damn, I'm fucked
My
because they
God.
actually exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then like in my mind, a part of me thinks that it's almost inevitable, at least in this day and age, because we're 8 billion people. I don't know if the 7 billion thing is because I'm pretty sure the number actually flying. We're 8 billion people. There's gonna be a lot of good in the world, but there's also gonna be a lot of trash. You know what I mean? And that's not to excuse or condone that these people exist, but what I'm trying to say is that it's real. Really dark places do exist in this world, and I feel like we do in our, I don't know, we're a second world country, Botswana, I don't know, like we're all over the country actually. I mean, we're all over the globe right now, but in our position, the fact that we're talking with laptops, the fact that we're talking assisting online, we are actually shielded from the worst of it, from the true atrocities that exist in this world, and we don't realize how bad it can get. Andrew Tate is a joke compared to the pirate warmongering drug lords of Somalia or something like that, and maybe even worse individuals out there. You know what I mean? So like, it can get really, really bad, and this movie has only given us a glimpse. It's literally the tip of the iceberg for how profane and rife with evil humanity can become.
Right. Also, Christian Bale is a lot more better to look at, a lot more easier to digest than Andrew Tate. I'm so sorry.
Bad.
Because that's fucking Batman. Are you kidding me? Bruce Wayne is up on my screen and you think I'm going to turn away? Please be serious.
Dude. Nah, no, it's remarkable. I remember that working out scene. What did he do? Like what, 2,000 sit-ups a day or something like that? Like
That is insane.
bruh, chiseled, immaculate body. Like it's like what, 2% fat? At that point, I don't even know, bro. Like wow. Like bro. I couldn't have a body like that though. I'm sorry. Too much work. A nigga lazy as
Too
hell,
much
bro.
work.
Yeah,
Way too much work.
Bruh.
relatable.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I mean, I love running, but like working out. Come on, man.
Eh,
Wait, why do you like what? Stop right there. Why do you like running? What are you running from?
Running for
What's
me.
stressing? Like, what's the issue?
Why are
No,
you running?
amazing, bro. Like,
Hey man,
What?
some of our
no,
niggas
like,
are fast, dog.
bruh, human beings were meant to run. That's the thing that we're good at. That's literally why we exist. We evolved to run. So when you run, it feels good, bro. Like working out's like you're in pain, you're being tortured, you gotta push yourself more than you're supposed to. But running, you just go, bro. You
You
just
know
be
what?
someplace, bro.
Different strokes for different folks. Okay, man, you like running.
What the
Hell
fuck?
yeah.
That's cool.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay. Do
Oh,
you
you're not
guys
familiar
have?
with the expression, so
If you guys have
You
anything
don't know
else
the
to say on
expression?
the film,
huh?
Do I have?
does anybody have anything else to say on the film? If not, I believe we can move on to the next one.
10 out of 10 would recommend. I implore my brothers to be more like Patrick Bateman. Don't let these bitches tell you you can't be like Patrick. He's a Sigma milk. Fuck these bitches. And last but not
Yes,
least,
sir. Yes, sir.
women are not real. Women are not real. Don't ever take the opinion of another bitch and think for it. Yeah, no, she's speaking facts. Nah, she's a simulation. She's part of the matrix.
That's not simulation, my nigga.
That hurts. That hurts. That hurts.
No, but you embodied the film. You embodied the film in the real way. You embodied it.
Exactly.
Okay. The next film coming up is Flash 2023. Phil, did you manage to watch it?
Yes.
And what do you think?
I didn't hate it.
Oh,
Right? Right?
No. Here's the
That's
thing.
why.
I think I hate the people who hated it.
Okay.
It wasn't a bad film.
thank you.
Part of me knew that going in that it wasn't going to be like a fucking horrible film. It's just that it seems like everybody kept on shitting it, saying, "Oh, it lost this much at the box office, so it must be a terrible fucking movie." And I just think it's just that thing or superhero fatigue. If this shit would have come out years ago, it wouldn't be anything to sing home about, but we would just be like, "Aight, on to the next one."
Yeah, I
What
fuck
was
with it
that
low key.
Ant-Man Quantumania? I just got the same fucking feeling from it.
Huh?
Okay. Okay.
Bosha?
I don't know. Like for me, oh yeah, Busher can go. Yeah. What the hell? What? I feel like you got like
Bro, listen. From the jump, when I saw that Ezra Miller was cast as the Flash, first of all, I love Ezra Miller. I love his work on Fantastic Beasts. It was fantastic, mwah, obviously. And Birds of a Wallflower, I loved him there too. So I have nothing against Ezra Miller, despite what's been happening today. But Mans is just not a good fit for Barry Allen. And the character assassination of Barry Allen was, it's unforgivable. It is unforgivable. I will never.
To be fair, what do you actually think the characterization of Barry Allen is?
Yeah,
What do
define
you
the
mean?
Flash. Like define the Flash.
I think some people kind of forget that the Barry Allen that they know isn't Barry Allen. It's just when niggas decided they wanted to bring back Barry Allen, but people still fucked with Wally Flash as the Flash, they just merged them, the two of them together. They basically swapped his personality. So what do you think is Barry's personality?
Listen, Barry, I understand that Barry, first and foremost, is funny. Barry is lighthearted. Barry's
That's Wally. That's Wally.
No.
No way.
No. No, listen. Barry Allen is not like Wally. He's not funny like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like bring out a quip every 2 minutes. No.
Okay.
Barry can read the room. Barry can read the room. He knows when to be serious. He knows when not to be serious. Like if you see the banter that he has with what's his name? Green Arrow, or heck, half of the Justice League. Barry Allen is on the light side of like every single conversation. He's the one throwing quips with Hal Jordan. His banter, amazing. But then when I take a look at Ezra Miller's iteration of Barry Allen. I feel like this is Barry, but like dialed up to fucking 1000. He can't read the room. Although there were some points where he was like, when he was like accosted, literally accosted by himself, and he's like, "Damn, now I understand. Now, now you really get it." Like that, I feel like that part in the film was so smart because so many people online have been complaining about the fact that, oh my gosh, he's just so weird. He's just so weird. And the writers, the movie makers, they took that and they're like, we hear you. We're gonna put that in the film to show you how to we are hyper aware of that.
That's true.
But other than that, this Barry Allen that we were given in the Flash 2023 might have been a good fit for the film's aesthetic, might have been a good fit for the themes, like for the film's vibe. But at the end of the day, I still feel like it was a terrible character assassination, and I will never forgive them for it.
He did already feel like Bart Allen, though.
Okay, so Phil says
He always felt like Bart Allen from like the 2003 run of Teen Titans.
Bart.
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Phil says the film is okay.
But then like,
Bosha says the film characterization he doesn't fuck with.
I
it.
didn't even wait. I didn't even say what the film is okay or not. I
Oh,
haven't
okay.
I
done
just
that.
didn't like one aspect.
And then Abe.
I really want to know what the definition of a Flash is before we even talk about whether or not the movie is good. Like, yeah.
You said.
But
What's
then-
your opinion of
Fine,
the
let me
film?
say my piece. Yeah, let me say my piece. I think the movie was very much watchable. Like, I remember not hating it all the way until the end. I didn't like the ending very much. But yeah, the majority of the film was like, this is watchable. It's got a good arc. It's got enough dialogue. They got some cool scenes and they did some new things about the Flash that I've never seen before. And I appreciated all of these things. So I was like, you know what? Even as a standalone movie, this thing can hold its weight. You know what I mean? I actually appreciate the work that they did. Although I also had a lot of problems with it, but like we'll get into that later on. Like I want to fight Phil right now. What you mean? Who the fuck? Who's Flash, bro? Like,
Damn.
And what do we think
Long
about?
Island. Hello.
Hey,
Hello. Are we having like network problems?
okay.
It's like
Phil, are you talking?
I gave up. I'm trying to hear what you're trying to say.
Oh shit.
Okay, let Junior speak.
Nah.
Yeah.
I think the film was very much top tier, S tier. This is the greatest superhero film of 2023. The only
Yeah.
problems that I
End
have
call.
with it would be the ending
This fucking call.
and the characterization
S
of
tier?
Batman.
S tier, bro?
Yeah, S tier.
Wait, what superhero movies came out in 2023 though?
Guardians
Why are we comparing it?
and Spider-Verse.
Wait, didn't Black Panther?
Bruh, there's no way you can put Spider-Verse and Flash 2023 in the same bracket. Nigga.
Nah, what do you mean?
I'm mad at you right now.
What?
I am actually mad at you right now. You
Those-
said that Flash 2023 is S tier.
Yes.
And you're comparing it to Spider-Man? Get the fuck out.
No. Here's the thing.
No.
Spider-Man is SSS tier. Though.
Exactly, S plus.
Nah, bro. You're breaking the ranking system just because it's convenient. S tier is supposed to be.
To be
fucking
fair,
S tier.
JRPGs do that though.
Bruh, no, man, no. We have problems. Man. Cause look, Spider-Man was a masterpiece in so many different rights.
Facts.
The cinematography, the music, the arc, the way. Like I didn't even notice that this one was a 2-hour long movie, bro. Like it was. Like I didn't even realize it. And when we got to the final scene, I was like, "Oh shit! I need to see the next episode." Only to realize, damn, I gotta wait 2 years. Like, bruh, like we can't even talk about Spider-Man in one sitting. So you can't compare it in any way with
Do
the
you-
Flash. Because like
do you
what
know,
you're saying is this.
For me,
You're saying,
it's very much a thing of this is ultimately the best version of the Flash movie that we could have gotten.
I don't know about
That's
that,
weak as
man.
fuck, man. That's the weakest justification I've ever heard.
Really?
Exactly. It's like, how low is this bar? We're talking
Bruh,
about
it's
Flash.
like if
These
you're
movies-
eating
The
hungry,
bar
you're
is
like,
in
I'm gonna
hell.
have
That's
this
the problem.
this
The
time.
bar is in fucking hell.
What do you mean?
It's like
What do you mean?
it's fucking damnation, my guy. Cause like, look, the top three characters or top three well-known characters in like DC is gotta be Superman, Batman, Flash. That's it. So we're talking about literally like we're talking about the A class. We're talking about the best of the best, the cream of the pie. And you telling me that Flash, the literally omniscient, omnipotent God, is like that's the best he can do. That's what you're basically telling me.
I
No.
honestly I
Now.
fuck with it, right? Because
Okay, cool.
going into the film, everybody had that expectation of this is a Flashpoint film, so it's gonna be a one to one
Okay.
recreation of the Flashpoint comic and the animation, some version of it, right?
Okay. Okay.
And you watch the
Uh-huh.
film, it actually is not that. These guys, the filmmakers, found a way to tell the story that they wanted to tell, being an origin story of Barry Allen's version, Ezra Miller's version of the Flash, and
Okay.
include the messaging at the end of the day. I feel like brought it home for me.
That's a good executed movie. That's not an S tier movie though. That's the whole argument we're having. Like I said,
Debatable.
I enjoyed that movie. It did what it set out it wanted to do. It showed me new things. I enjoyed it. But to say that it's a movie that should last for the entire decade. Like I'm
Yes.
gonna forget this movie after 2 years, hell after 1 year. And S tier's last decade, and apparently S tier's last 20 years or more. You know what I mean? So it's nowhere near something that lasts. It's nowhere near all the way that good.
As
Like
debatable.
for example, let's actually now break down what's wrong with it. The final scene where we have what's this thing, the Dark Flash step in. I feel like that was unnecessary because
Yes. Yes.
here we have the young Flash trying his best to do the same thing that he tried to do. Basically, Flash is a god. He can literally do whatever he wants. He can literally go back in time if he runs fast enough. That's like a crazy ability to begin with. And the one thing that he can't change is the fact that he has suffering in his life. His biggest pain in life is that he lost his mom and he's losing his dad. He can't change that fact. And within the movie, through the movie, he's learning that. That's beautiful. The young Flash hasn't got to that level of maturity. He, in and of himself, was a perfect antagonist. We didn't need to have him age a couple of 50 years or so and then come in and fight him again. And then when you kill the young Flash, it takes a while for the Dark Flash to like pass through. I mean, like that kind of self-sacrifice kind of situation. That was unnecessary.
That was
I
that was
don't
unnecessary.
Okay. So here's the thing. Like when you guys kept on saying, "Hey, you didn't like the final moments of this thing of the movie," I kept thinking, "Oh, what was wrong with it?" And now you kind of explained why some people might have
Yeah.
thought it was wrong. They basically undercut the tension with the young Flash being like, "Nah, bro, you're not running back to save your mom. Let me try and figure this shit out." And instead of having young Flash come to that realization, instead of seeing him mature, he just kind of like, "Oh shit, I might fuck up and turn into that dude. I'll sacrifice myself and then end of story."
Exactly. It was very
Yeah,
much.
and yeah, yeah.
It was an aborted character arc,
Yeah.
and I kind of get why you didn't like it. Initially, I just liked it.
Yeah.
Because I just like people suffering with that thing of you could change a lot of things, but you can't change this. This is a nexus point in history, my guy.
Yeah.
And then there's another thing.
This is the second time that I've watched this thing, a time travel show. I managed to watch Loki.
Boys.
Holy shit! Wait, you just watched Loki, nigga? Bro.
No, this is an accomplishment, bro. Bro is catching up.
Season 2. You know that I watched Loki from last time.
Oh, okay. Don't spoil. I haven't caught up yet. I'm saving it up for like after examination.
After you were talking that big shit, you didn't even watch season 2.
Hey man, don't fight me. Hey, bro. We talking about Flash here, okay?
So
you actually have to study for an exam, so I'm gonna let that shit slide.
So we agree that the ending was a letdown, low key. That part of the ending.
Yeah, yeah. There was also another thing that didn't make sense for me. Yeah, I'm trying to remember it, but I can't remember for the life of me. It's like there was an inconsistency with how he was doing time travel, and the problem with time
Yeah,
travel is
yeah.
they're riddled with inconsistencies. I just hope that with this newer version, they would have kind of learned their act. You know what I mean? They would have. It would have made sense. You know,
Do
because
you,
usually,
do you know why I wasn't hard
I don't
on
know. This
it?
okay? Do you think?
The reason why I wasn't hard on it is because of CW's Flash. 9 seasons worth of time travel that is just so validly inconsistent. It gave me cancer.
You still watch that in season 4.
Nah, dog.
Bruh.
I feel compared to like The Flash, the
I
movie,
feel like he's
versus
trying to like save himself.
Flash, the series. That's why I'm saying this one is the better version of The Flash.
Yeah, but you can't give it an A+ for being better than its younger, uglier brother. You know, it's gotta stand on its own right for its own
And
side,
to
for
be
its own
fair,
self.
that thing
You know
was
what I
on
mean?
the CW. They had to pump out 22 episodes a season.
Nah, dog.
So
Logic,
of course
Exactly.
they had to dumb this man down
logic
and make
dictates
his
that.
he just the dumbest shit. Like if the moment he loses sight of a criminal in a car going 60 miles an hour, it's over. We can never find him again.
I will never forgive them for the atrocity where the Flash was unable to catch up to a motorcycle. Fucking
You're
motorcycle.
kidding me. That happened?
That was the time. I shit you
happens
not.
all
The
the
minute I
time,
saw
hey.
that scene, the minute I saw that scene, I switched off my laptop and I went straight to bed. Mind you, it was in the morning. I was
It was in the morning. Oh shit. What?
I was like,
You couldn't catch
you
up with the
cannot do
motorcycle?
this.
Do you know there's a version?
How?
There's one episode in The Flash. We know that Barry Allen grows up with his father, right? The Flash, the TV show.
Yeah.
There's Flash
Yeah,
grows up
yeah.
with his father. So there's a point where he travels back in time as a grown up, and he meets his father in the past, right?
Okay.
And you're telling me the point where you see your son in the, he doesn't say that I'm your son from the future, right? So he just meets his dad,
Okay.
and they have this conversation. Same thing as in the movie where the mother meets Barry, and she has a conversation with him, and she helps him like overcome a little bit of trauma, right? But she doesn't know
Yeah.
that that's Barry. The same thing happens in the
Okay.
TV show, where Flash goes back in time. He meets the mother and the father. So, an inconsistency that happens is the fact that in the future, Barry's father should know, yo, I've seen you before in my past, and you
Cap.
looked exactly
Cap.
like this.
Cap.
Huh?
It depends.
Did
I
you,
agree.
honest,
Because the thing is,
did you honestly think that you could see somebody, meet somebody,
Huh?
and you're going to remember them 20 years in the future, and you're like,
If
you
he
know
looks like
what,
your son.
You look like that nigga I met on a Tuesday 20 years ago.
No, dude, the thing
And
is,
you know
Also,
what's worse? And you know what's worse?
Huh.
All white people look the same. So how do you expect him to distinguish one person from another?
no, dude,
to be like,
like,
Mosby,
you're telling me,
every piece of shit that was in his plate 7 years ago while he was talking to Marshall with his eyes closed or some shit like that, bro.
no, bro, that's,
Bro, be serious. Be serious for real.
Yo, Junior, do you remember a girl called Susan that we went to school with?
yeah.
Do you think if your
Mom,
daughter in the future grows up and looks exactly like Susan, you're gonna think to yourself, you know what, little girl, you look just like Susan?
Dude,
it's impossible.
it's not impossible. It's not impossible, bro. Like, if
How highly probable is it though?
it's highly probable, you're telling me you grow up with your son and the resemblance to that guy is uncanny. I don't care if it's been like 10 years since you last saw that guy.
If I asked you to draw a picture of Susan, do you think you could do it?
I would not be able to do it. But
Wow.
recognizing that, yo, there's some
Why not?
likability, there's some likeness between her and a person that I met sometime. Even if like you can't put a picture to it, you still be like something is clicking.
Thing is, maybe maybe Listo was one of those people who actually is really good with faces. So for him, he just cannot conceptualize us mere mortals who can't remember a face from yesterday, while he remembers all the faces in his life. So I'm gonna leave you have your piece, use your godlike powers how you will. But for me, the likelihood
Huh.
of that specific individual remembering that this person is his son, I don't know, highly unlikely. But
Nah,
like
Also,
bro.
how
that's
would
just
that
that's not even.
benefit? How would that benefit? Let's start there. What would that do for
I'm
you?
just saying
Like, how would that
it's
help
an
you?
inconsistency which I believe that.
How though?
How is it an
Okay,
Like
inconsistency?
okay.
timeline or
Let's just
clockwise.
say they did in fact that his father did in fact memorize Barry's face enough
Remember.
so that in the past, when he saw him, that in the future he can still see him clearly. How does that affect the story?
It changes everything because it becomes.
It doesn't change everything. It's just one of those conversations. You know, you look like this guy I once met a long time ago.
And you're
I
telling me
feel
that's not
like
gonna
the
freak
feels
you
actually
out.
up. It's like in your mind, it's basically impossible for your son to go back in time and have a conversation to you. So it's like it's not even in your mind that that's even physically possible.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like even if I live in a world where the Flash exists, I don't know that Flash has the ability to go back in time. So why would I assume that, oh hey, because they exist other person who can move back in time, that one person must be my son because I saw some guy who was a lookalike 20 years ago? The probability is so slim that a reasonable, logical person would never put two and two together.
Here's the
Nah,
So
thing.
I don't
bro.
see it as a
Nah.
problem.
Hey, here's the thing. We're still overthinking it. How does that affect anything? If Flash
It
looks
doesn't
like
change
someone,
too much.
It changes everything. You're telling me you're seeing your son grow up to be a version.
there's a difference between you died, I know your face, you died, and you show up 20 years later and you're still looking the same. That will
Can
be
we let
something
the
that
man
sticks in my
talk?
mind and I'm like, that's something big. But
Huh.
you growing
Can we?
up to look like someone I met on a Tuesday 20 years ago does not affect
Bosha is done.
anything.
Gia,
Bosha is
Gia,
done.
Gia, Gia.
Huh.
What are you saying? Because I've been trying to hear you out, and these niggas won't let you talk, baby. What's going on?
I'm
How is that
saying,
going on?
right? The story in which the Flash is taking place, right? It becomes, for me, it becomes an inconsistency when, as a version of Barry Allen that goes back into the past to talk to my parents, right? One of them dies, but my father is still alive. My father sees me growing up to become an exact replica of a person that I saw, that he saw 20 years ago. You're telling me he wouldn't sit me down and say, yo, something weird is going on. Let's have this conversation of, I saw you 20 years. And especially because Barry's dad ends up finding out that he does have flash powers and he's able to travel faster than the speed of light.
Okay. For that one, I'll understand. But I feel like if you discover that your son has the ability to move back in time, then it's more like an aha moment. Like, oh, that makes sense. But if you don't know that your son has these abilities, you just sound crazy to your
Yes,
son to
my
go about
my
him and say,
my
hey,
point is
so
that the show never calls it out to be that. He never has that
okay.
aha moment.
They
So
keep
it becomes an inconsistency.
Okay, okay. In that regard, I'll give you that. But another thing that I wanted to actually
I'm still
bring
not giving this
was
shit.
Fuck you, dog.
Phil's not. Phil doesn't take shit for shit.
Okay, going
I
back to
was
the Flash.
Because
Going back to the
this is
movie.
this is a very inconsequential thing, man.
Going back to the movie. Going back to the movie. Um, I feel like the director does not understand Batman because
How?
that is true.
How?
my
The thing
points
is,
my points
I think
being that number one, Batman is, when I picture Batman, I don't see him working during daylight hours for somewhat reason. And
Why not?
okay.
can I let me
I like how
finish?
he's just leaving the room.
Let
Like,
me
okay, a
finish.
billionaire doesn't have a job.
Let me finish. I don't see Batman
Okay.
doing Batman stuff during the day in front of everybody to a point where his rampage is causing literal destruction during during the chase scene. And I believe
Which chasing?
the chase scene
The
where
one at the beginning of the movie
yeah,
where he's chasing, I think it was Captain Cold's son.
yeah. So I genuinely believe he doesn't understand the director doesn't understand that version of Batman or like I'm not talking about the other Batman, but Ben Affleck's Batman version in particular because he leaves like a wake of destruction, and it would have been simpler to just call Barry or tail the guys without.
Didn't he already do that in Batman versus Superman?
No. Let's not bring
Wasn't
back.
like one of the big reasons that Superman was pissy at Batman was because Batman was causing too much destruction. I
Yeah.
know glass
Wait, wait.
houses and stones.
But like
and all
after that, he's supposed to have learned his
When?
lesson.
Okay, he's
Wait,
supposed to have
when?
let-
When did this happen? Wait. When did that happen?
Guy, even me, I was confused a little bit.
Batman
Like,
versus
in my mind,
Superman.
the whole thing
At the
is
beginning of the
Superman,
movie,
with that Superman
Alfred
just-
calls Batman, when Alfred calls the Flash that Gotham General is having a problem, is because some supervillain's kid decided to steal a super virus, and Batman was
Yeah, I
chasing-
know that part. I know that part. But I'm talking about like the same destruction that we're talking about in Batman v Superman.
Yeah. What
Where was
that
that?
first chase
Batman-
scene where Superman pulled up on Batman and destroyed his Batmobile.
Okay, cool. That was Superman.
Was that man
not
not
Batman.
causing mass destruction as he was chasing those bad guys?
And he was
And
literally
people were
killing
complaining
them.
about how Batman is starting out with guns shooting and everything. Like the first time that they
because
met.
what you're basically telling me is that Batman's a hypocrite. Because the whole reason why
Mm.
BVS even
No,
happened.
Batman isn't a hypocrite. Superman's a hypocrite.
No. This version of Batman is a
No, I
hypocrite.
feel okay, then that means we're on the same page then. Because, like, in my mind, the whole reason for BVS is because Superman does too much destruction. Not Batman.
Batman
doing too much
also.
destruction, but Superman instead.
Wait, why did
No, but then
Superman
Batman
pull up
also
on
did
Batman?
fuck.
Why did Superman pull up on Batman?
I thought Batman pulled up on Superman. Superman went up to Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. The only reason I watched that movie was because Gal Gadot was tearing shit up, and I just wanted to see a woman do it. Otherwise, I couldn't remember shit.
That's basically it, bro. But then BVS was so long ago, so I barely remember like the details. But if you're absolutely correct, Batman is a hypocrite through and through.
Through and
But what I was
through,
gonna
bro.
go on, what I was gonna say is that I feel like a director can use a character however they want to portray a story, as long as it remains consistent to some degree. Now, in my mind, the Batman that they're portraying, I don't like him. I don't like what he's doing. He's more of a prop, if anything. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Wait,
If he
which
remains that
which
way,
Batman?
I'm comfortable with
The one at the beginning or the one at the end?
the one at the
Ben
beginning.
Affleck,
All of them.
Keaton, or Clooney.
Bruh, Ben Affleck. Because
Okay.
the Clooney version, he just showed up. Like, he's not even doing anything. And I feel like it just speaks to the fact that, oh, hey, the different universes, if you fuck up a timeline, you create a new universe in that regard. So I'm not even vexing about the fact that they changed characters. I'm just talking about the fact that, okay, we are hating on the Batman, but Batman is a prop in almost every film. So I'm not even mad. Like, I'm not expecting too much from him to begin with.
Nah, dog. Honestly, that part cheesed me. Cause
I still want to fight Junior about that Batman is fighting in the day nonsense.
yeah, you don't agree with that shit.
I mean, doesn't it?
Junior,
I
if
think-
Batman only fought at night, that would literally explain why Gotham's crime rate is so fucking high. Because if I was a supervillain, I'd be doing my shit in the day.
Easy.
Honestly, like your version of Batman is reminding me of that trade rag skit where Batman is just stuck in this thing, is just stuck in his house during the day while criminals are selling crack to kids, and he's like, "I'll catch you at night. I'll catch you at night. I'll catch you at night."
That's actually crazy.
No,
No, because like just because he wears a dark suit and he works best at night, that doesn't mean he's excluded from the daytime. I see that.
yeah, but I always pictured it as a thing of if something's happening during the day, he's more of like um
Billionaire.
Acting
no
as
no
the
no
CEO,
no no
so
no no
he's too
like
busy to do that.
if a crime is happening during the day, he's more of like incognito. I'm not gonna chase you down the street, having trucks explode, and you're running
Oh
over
yeah.
cop cars.
Yeah.
Like people are literally dying
Mm,
during that chase scene.
He'll be a
mm,
detective in the day and Batman at night.
Mm.
So he'll
Exactly.
literally
mm, mm.
So
So
during
the
the
issue
night,
is not the fact
collateral
that
damage is okay. During the day, it's bad.
Hey, fuck you, you're
no,
twisting
no,
my
no, no, no,
words.
no. No, I don't think. Wait, Junior, are you saying that Batman working during? It's not about Batman working during the day. It's about how Batman was executing his day job during the
Exactly.
day.
Exactly.
So you're saying that Batman at night should still operate like Batman at night during the day.
Exactly.
So minimize casualties.
Minimize
Make sure you don't make a
casualties.
spectacle out of yourself.
So
Yes.
to clarify, your problem isn't the man working at during the day. Your problem is just the collateral damage
Yes.
and execution of this plan.
An execution of the plan.
We're the ones who got to find that. He did mention that. He did actually mention that in a real sense. But like, yeah, like at the end of the day, for me, he's just a prop. So I was not really vexed on the Batman thing. The Flash thing for me,
Same.
I love movies that really talk about thematics and like the philosophy behind it. I like what they did with the philosophy of things. And in an interesting way, I see parallels between American Psycho and the Flash. That's actually the weird part.
What
And like most
parallels?
people won't actually see it because yeah, this is what I'm actually getting to. So Flash's problem is dealing with grief. You know what I mean? And that's his whole life. It's like I've lost my parents and I'm never gonna get them back, no matter what I do. American Psycho deals with. I'm sorry. Before I go to American Psycho, and Flash deals with grief on a daily basis. He's constantly reminded about his loneliness and the fact that he was pulled away from it. American Psycho, like I mentioned before, it's a lot about a psychopath and the human condition of a psychopath. But in a sense, I see him suffering in the same way. The grief of not understanding yourself, if you see where I'm coming from, and then having to live with it, trying to cope with it with whatever
Mm-hmm.
means that you can.
Mm.
The thing, so what I would say is I forget the name for the Kristen Bale, right? Yeah, I feel like he's a better human being in some regards to Flash because let me explain myself. He's a better human being because at least Christian Bale says, "I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to cope. This is my reality, and I have to face it." Flash is literally running away from his problems until the very end of the movie. He's trying to absolve himself of the responsibility of the fact that, oh, hey, I have lost my parents. He would rather go back in time. He would rather fuck shit up and he would rather do everything he can to make sure that's changed. Not just the present version, but
Facts,
even the
facts.
past version. The past version had his mom and his dad. He had everything that the old Flash did not have. And yet, when he lost his girl, a girl that, mind you, they barely had a conversation together, he can't truly say he loved her because he knows nothing about her. But the moment he loses her, instead of facing the reality that no, some things happen and shit goes south, let me face it. He would rather go back and change it. He would rather try to fixate it to the way things are. At least Christian Bale would realize that, oh, hey, shit happened. I'm sad about it. I'll cope by killing a person. The Flash is not
May
even
I
gonna bother.
interject?
He's gonna,
May I interject?
yeah, say,
Yeah.
say.
The Flash reality is that he can travel back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you say he's a better human than the Flash, and perhaps Bateman is a better human than the Flash because he can face his things. Here's the thing. Before all of this nonsense with the fucking spaghetti bowl and marinara sauce, the Flash realizes I can change shit in the past. That is his reality. That is the thing he can do. And from the younger Flash's perspective, that's a thing he can always do. Because the moment Connor dies, my man is like, I gotta run back to the past. Show me how. He starts dipping. and he reverses and he realizes, okay, I can make this adjustment in the fight. I can make this adjustment in the fight. Even though I said that I like time travel stories, I'm kind of getting sick of this whole entire thing whereby like you're stuck in a time loop of sorts whereby you can turn back
Mm-hmm.
time, but you can't change a fucking thing about it. I'm starting not to like that thing very much
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
because
In my okay, in my mind, I understand that this guy has the ability to change the past, and if he
yeah,
tried to change the past maybe a couple of times, maybe four times or something like that, and you see a pattern, the pattern is basically this: oh, hey, I can't change this. This is a nexus. Instead of coping with that, the young Flash ends up going at it until 50 years pass. Think about that. Like if you need to be told, and remind you, this is a Flash that lives second by second. So it's not just 50 years of trying the same things. It's 50 years of 5 minute spaces in between, constantly trying over and over and over and over again. In my mind, you'd have to be more broken than Christian Bale because you're not just refusing to accept something.
Mm.
You're saying I'm more than God over even my own abilities. Like realize that fact. You've changed the past so much and nothing has changed. So your godlike abilities don't offer you too much. You have to accept it at some point. Christian Bale
Okay,
accepts that I am human and then, he has to cope.
But wait,
can I just say that
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's unfair to say that because
Okay.
we, for like, despite my many problems with the film, that's not one of them because I feel like characters
Mm-hmm.
have to learn at some point or another, and how they go about
Okay.
learning the consequences of their actions is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear someone say Barry constantly kept going at the same thing, it begs the question, wouldn't you have done the same thing? Like, if you were to
exactly.
put yourself into Barry's shoes, like, wouldn't you want to do the same thing? I feel like that's where the empathy part comes in because
Okay.
he's trying. The mere fact that he's trying to save someone, to save,
Mm-hmm.
to preserve a life, that more is
Mm-hmm.
more admirable to me than whatever the hell Patrick Bateman is doing. Like, Patrick Bateman could be like, damn, I killed a life. But the blatant disregard, the flagrant disregard for a life makes him so
Mm-hmm.
much more worse than Barry. Barry is motivated by, I want to save a life. Patrick is just really apathetic to everything happening around him and only cares about himself.
My
So
my
no matter how
argument.
bad, what?
Okay, okay, you can finish. You can finish and I'll say.
Okay, so no matter how bad Barry's execution for his plan is, I'll always empathize with him because it's coming from from a point, from a place where it's like, okay, cool. You have flaws, but I see your intent, but you still have flaws. And I feel like when
Mm-hmm.
our Barry Allen comes in and tries to like teach him the way, it's like, okay, cool. You taught me, now what? You know, because who does Patrick have that can give him another perspective if we're going to go on that regard?
No, I
mm.
see
No one,
where you're coming from, but like in
right?
my mind, this is my definition so far for what good and evil is. I'm gonna borrow a little bit from the show The Good Place. The Good Place is a bunch of people
Love
who
that too.
all go to it's bomb, it's God tier. I'm not gonna lie. So The Good Place is a bunch of
Loved it.
people where like they all go to hell. They're basically all terrible people, and then some people are maybe better than others. Some people are actually good. You know what I mean? And I don't need to go into the plot about who and why goes into hell, but essentially the premise is that you can get better, you can grow as a person, and how fast you grow as a person to this kind of change makes you a good person. Because I don't want to spoil too much, but like at the very end there's a person who just doesn't change, and that person stays
Yeah,
in hell. Do you see where
yeah,
I'm coming from? You see,
yeah,
and those are bad people. Bad people are the people who don't realize that there is change that is necessary. Because if you flip the role and you put Barry in Christian Bale's situation, and he's brought to face the fact that he's killing people over and over again, and he doesn't want to change the fact that he wants to kill people, or rather doesn't try and find a way to cope, then Barry would be an more evil person than Christian Bale because he doesn't want to change as eagerly. For me, the true evil is not in the binary between good and bad, because different cultures can define that however they wish. But the constant between all cultures, the constant between all morality is the desire to change, the desire to grow. Christian Bale copes, and that is the stage in growth. But the Flash spent an entire lifetime not growing, not accepting. And that is a weakness that brings about evil more so than killing people.
And
That's my
Okay, but
opinion.
then
and
we still have the item ya gore he has his comeuppance. That's the thing. Like every person, regardless of how evil they are, they will get their consequences, be it actively or it's going to come from someone else.
are we gonna talk about
Patrick
how
doesn't have his consequences.
I feel like Barry's worse in terms of he's trying to save one person, but if you look at the logic of the film, he's killed more than thousand versions of Sasha, I mean Supergirl and Michael Keaton just because he couldn't let go of that one version.
That's actually a thing. He was willing to sacrifice a lot more to save her. Like you could easily see
Okay.
that his motivation was not saving humanity there.
Yeah.
That was not what he was trying to do. What he was trying to save was the girl. That's what I think.
Here's my thing, right?
Hmm.
Does it really matter though?
Okay.
Like
Go on.
I kept thinking about this, but basically, with this whole entire thing of the timelines and everything, it seems like sometimes these timelines branch off of a simple thing as you deciding to pick up a coffee cup.
Hmm.
My question is,
Hmm.
don't all of us murder thousands and infinitudes of timelines every time we decide that, nah, we're not gonna have coffee right now at this very moment?
Mm. But
I
then
do care about
the
you, but I don't.
But he's actively moving from one timeline where Batman and Supergirl
Exactly.
guy dies,
And she dies.
and then
She
he moves
dies,
on to
right?
the next one. He sees them die. Instead of
And
stopping
she
and
doesn't
saying,
die.
"No,
She's
that's
not
too
dead.
much. Too many of them have
She
died."
dies and she's not dead. She dies and she's not dead.
Hmm.
So,
I wouldn't. I see where you're coming from for like the whole killing a whole universe. I don't see it that way personally, but I can sympathize and I can understand where you're coming from to say I am killing a universe by making a specific choice. But if you're telling me that him seeing these people die over and over and over again hasn't broken him or is breaking him, that for me is an argument that I can jump into because I think it does matter. I think it definitely does
I was
matter
talking
about how.
more from a moral perspective, not a personal one. It could affect
Okay.
you to see someone die 1,000 times. In the same way that you
Uh-huh.
could relive the same memory of your parents' death,
Yeah.
a la Bruce
Mm-hmm,
Wayne.
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm,
was just
mm-hmm,
getting
mm-hmm.
more into the morality aspect of it.
Okay,
From
so
a
you think
time
it's
traveler's
bad to kill
perspective, none of this shit matters. It's like whenever people think about how if time travel were to be invented, the first thing they're going to do is jump Hitler. And it's like,
Mm-hmm,
no, if time travel were to be invented, people
mm-hmm,
wouldn't care about fucking Hitler. That's like us caring about fucking Hannibal and his fucking wars.
mm-hmm,
Those niggas don't
mm-hmm.
matter to us. Those are just things that happen.
Interesting. Okay, so in Barry's shoes, oh, you in Barry's shoes, you're seeing this death happen maybe 5 times, right? In your
Yeah.
mind, are you gonna like label it as inconsequential, or it's the only thing that's consequential versus saving the world or versus killing Hitler? I'm trying to see where you're coming from.
No, I was just thinking of this thing that morality doesn't matter for a time traveler because nothing matters.
Oh, okay, that actually makes a lot.
I've always been more of a consequentialism kind of guy.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I get that. If you can change, if all realities are valid, basically,
Exactly.
then
Cause and effect,
if
but what if you have the ability to remove the cause?
exactly, and then things are just happening. You will see countless universes where somebody dies, and you see countless universes where they don't. At the end of the day, why does it matter whether I should choose one universe over the other? Like,
Okay.
I think morality might still have a place in there, but it stops becoming something that panders to society. It starts becoming something that panders to you. Morality basically becomes what's right for you
Yeah.
because you get to choose which universe you want to be in,
And
Yeah.
isn't
and
that the
that's
whole
what makes sense
point
for you.
where the older Flash says, "I think it's time to stop"?
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Like the older Flash accepts that the old universe that I have makes sense for me, and you also need to accept that this makes sense for you. And there is no true right and wrong between any of these things. You just have to accept things as the way they are. Okay,
That's kind of what I love most about time travel stories, and I hate most about it.
okay.
It's that thing
The fact
of
that
I've always been about the consequences of actions, and as a time traveler, there is no such thing as fucking consequences.
mm,
Can
interesting.
I
That's
ask?
an interesting take.
Um,
But then,
there was a
mhm.
point where Bruce has a conversation with Batman. Ben Affleck has a conversation with Barry, and he says that they're basically explaining time travel. That whatever you do in the past can have repercussions in this universe.
Mhm,
So I
mhm.
don't understand why Barry understands that, but he ends up doing it anyway.
Interesting. That's another thing, actually. I actually remembered, you actually reminded me when Batman was explaining time travel. I loved how they did that. That
Hmm.
was a little bit new. I don't think anybody's done that before. I don't know how, like, the way they
Exactly.
explained it.
I was
Yeah, that was
honestly
actually
expecting
beautiful.
the
I like
whole
that.
time boom thing.
It's not just the time dome thing because yes, like space time is 3D, so obviously you have to like travel through a dome. But even the explanation for Batman using the spaghetti, Lisso was absolutely right. Like Junior's right. Like he saw that if you fuck up timelines in one specific place, you could have ripple effects that could destroy the lives of others. Now this Flash, the old Flash realizes, oh shit, that's bad. I need to go back. And then the young Flash is like, well, damn, even though I know this, I would still rather save her. I feel like now morality does play a role. If you have the ability to save your universe but destroy countless others,
Hmm.
would you? It's the trolley problem all over again. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And now the question now becomes, if you do have an answer, are you gonna be Christian Bale or are you gonna be
Hey, trolley
uh,
problem. What's
Barry
your
Allen?
solution? Trolley problem. What's your solution?
Kill the one.
I'm a pacifist, so I would rather kill myself than the other
What?
people. But I would also.
Okay, thanks for speaking out.
Hey
Bosh.
man, I'm not trying to breathe in this motherfucker. But if I have to choose in this binary system, I would have to kill the people, a lot of people, like the five instead of the one.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll kill the five instead of
Damn,
the one.
bro. You need to
In
check
my
into
mind,
therapy.
Junior.
help me, bro.
No,
Let,
no, no.
let me
No, no,
finish.
no. We're gonna run back to it. We're gonna run back to Junior.
I'd,
What's your
I'd,
answer?
I'd kill the one.
You kill the one.
You would kill the one. Okay, Bosh.
Why am I in a chain?
Bro, it's the poly problem. Let's not start, bro.
Like why? Okay,
Hey,
but
my
like
man. It's a
wipe all of them
hypothetical.
out.
It's a
Wipe all of them out. Wipe all of them out.
All of them. Negro, I like
Why are
what
they
you
on the
say.
track in the first place? I need people to understand that these problems have no bearing in the physical world. It don't matter. Kill all of them. They're on the real track anyway. Kill them.
Well, yeah, I get that. I get that. What's yours, Phil?
No, but like, to be serious, no, seriously, I'd kill the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Phil?
Now there was that also that other extension of the trolley problem. What's it? 5 people in the
You didn't give
hospital
your answer
needed
yet.
a kidney, a liver, blah blah blah, and there's this perfectly healthy person. Do you kill them?
Huh?
Okay, I didn't hear. What?
Basically, it's the extension of the trolley problem. Basically, you're a doctor at a hospital. There are 5 patients. One needs a kidney, the other needs a liver, one needs a lung, one needs a heart, blah blah blah. Now, 5 of your patients need that. Now, a perfectly healthy person walks in. Do you kill them to get the material you need?
Is he donating it?
Nigga, I
No,
still
no. Do
feel
you kill
comfortable
him
with
to
that
get the
part of my
material you need?
statement, though. Five niggas dying, bro. Five niggas dying.
It depends on how
Same thing.
important they are. Like, I guess.
Wait,
Ma,
so
this we do not just say that important. Important? That's more evil than me.
No,
That's
like-
way more evil.
can I ask? You're saying 5 people are dying. They all need certain organs to survive, and one healthy
Yeah.
person comes in. Do I have to kill that person to get all those organs and give to to those people?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you?
They want that. Okay, to be fair, to be absolutely fair, I will do everything that I can to keep those people alive for as long as I can.
Hmm.
But if I can't save them, I can't kill another person simply because of my Hippocratic oath. I just
Yeah.
can't. I will try to preserve life where I can.
Yeah.
But I know that they were on their way to dying.
They're already dead. Yeah. No, but like, let's say the president of the United States. You have 5.
No. I'm just gonna
Fuck
say,
you.
if it's an important person, I choose the important person.
Exactly.
That was more of a simple exercise whereby, in one instance, you actively have to choose to kill one person to save 5, and in another instance, you still have to kill one person to save 5.
Huh.
Abe was very consistent with his methodology. You two were inconsistent. I'm not
Huh.
sure what Junior was talking about with the important people. Personally speaking, I'm inconsistent as well.
Where?
But
I'm
that's,
inconsistent as well.
that's because the
I would
circumstances
kill
are
the
different,
one person
though.
in the trolley problem, and I'd refuse to kill the patient, the healthy patient.
Yeah, but that's because the circumstances are different.
So context is important.
So
then.
context is important. Yeah.
Which is
Yo,
why
Gio, what was that about the president? What was that about the president?
So in the Flash, there's a point where fuck. Shit, I'm out of notes. Fuck. Can we talk about the hospital scene? Yes.
Okay,
Which
fine.
scene
Let's
is
go
that?
hospital.
The hospitals in the Flash.
The only the babies.
Yes, the one with the babies.
the one where he has to save the children.
Yeah. So
I still wanted to like touch on. Yeah, go. Yeah, speak.
basically I feel undecisive about that scene because one, I love how they try to set up Barry's powers and his abilities in this movie, and they use that scene to like basically describe that, right? So he can't physically move a person. That might cause some problems for that person. He can move objects within the vicinity. Also, the fact that his speed reduces whenever he does not eat something. I feel like those aspects, especially at the beginning, have been set up really nice. The problem is the context of the scene is that he arrives to a crime scene. Immediately an explosion happens, a disaster happens. So the problem arises of he has no urgency of let me go inside the hospital and find out if there's any people who need help.
Mute yourself, bro. What is that sound? It sounds like you're getting a blowjob from an alien.
What the fuck?
Dude, like that's some weird ass sounds, bro. The circle, please continue.
Phil. Okay, like I was saying,
Yeah. Now I was doing something, moving shit.
like I was saying, right? The setting up his powers and abilities is very nice. But the problem is that execution wise, as soon as Barry arrives on scene, he has no urgency. Because an explosion happens, and instead of going inside the hospital and finding out that there's people who need to be evacuated or if something has happened to anybody, he just stands there for 2 minutes waiting for something to happen.
I see where you're coming from. But
Wait, wasn't he busy down there in like the basement trying to make sure that the power lines don't interact with shit and blow shit up even more?
Okay, I get that, but given the fact that within the hospital itself, there's still like thousands of people. right? Why not go inside and help them?
My brother, he was having
The
a bad
assumption is
day.
that they ran.
Barry was having a bad day, and I'd be tired too. Shit,
No, no,
I
no,
might
no,
even
no.
run away from the whole
I'll
thing.
not take that as an excuse because he has no urgency. There's no point at which he's like, oh my god, damn, there's nothing I can do for these people, right? He just stands there.
What do you mean he
In
just
my
stands
mind,
there?
Literally, he comes
He
in
in,
my
looks
mind,
like
he stands
in a
there.
complete and utter rush. Like the moment he shows up on the scene, Alfred is like, dude, go to the basement and fix the power lines. The moment he's done with the power lines, Alfred is like, okay, now that you're done with the power lines, the building is about to collapse. He stands up for a second. He's like, man, this building's fine. It starts crumbling. Then he's in crunch time, seeing babies fall.
Do you know what the problem is?
in my mind.
Abe, talk.
I bet. In my mind, I think Lisoko does have some merit to what he's saying. What I saw, what I interpreted that, or at least accepted that scene by, was the fact that he underestimates, or rather, no, he overestimates his ability, or he underestimates the situation. He's not taking it as seriously because, like this was said, there's also that scene where he got into this new scene, but he's hungry. You're not supposed to enter into a new scene hungry. You have to put your best at all times because lives are at stake. But because he's got godlike abilities. He doesn't. He thinks this is a small job. It's like, okay, cool, I can get this thing done on an empty stomach. And then only halfway through, he's like, oh shit, I probably need to eat. So I think I see where you're coming from. He did underestimate it, but I also agree with both Phil and Bosha where we're basically saying, I mean, he did try. It's not like he was just there twiddling his thumbs. He was just not putting his best effort. That's what I
Can
think
I
we're
just
trying to
say,
say.
you're so right, but also at the same time, y'all finna shit on me on this. But why are you mad that Barry Allen is just Barry Allening in the Flash? Let's start there. Why are you mad at Barry Allen for being Barry Allen? Like,
Okay.
if I was the one saying it, you would be defending it. Like, no, he really did try his best. You'd be the one who's defending it, Julian. But because you're
True.
saying
No,
it
no, no,
has
no,
no
no.
merit. Like, bro, come on
I
now.
disagree
Chelsea, come on
because
now.
the point where you put your costume on, you have a responsibility to citizens. You have a responsibility to save lives. The
But
moment you
who
put,
is putting on that costume?
huh?
Do you actually have that responsibility?
You
Who is
do.
putting on that
You don't have
costume?
the person himself has to arm themselves with the responsibility. If I'm not a responsible person, whether or not I put in a superhero suit or a police suit or a surgeon's assisting outfit, it don't matter. I'm still gonna fuck around.
No, Doug.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
Barry
You're
Allen.
telling me
That's Barry Allen for you.
you have the ability to clear a room within five minutes of arriving on a scene, right? You have the ability to clear the room. An explosion happens. You look at it happening, and then you're like, "Oh shit! Let me just stay here and twiddle my thumbs."
Gia, Gia,
What's the
if I
scene
look at the
again?
sky and it happens to be blue, I'm not gonna be mad at the sky for being blue and why it's not red.
But you have the
It's Barry
ability.
Allen's character.
You have the ability to change the color of the sky.
Whether he has the ability or not, it still doesn't change who that person is.
I don't get you.
Plus, I feel like
Wait,
it also speaks.
My question is,
like
do
a
you think
character
it's a plot hole or character assassination or just a quirk?
Character. I wouldn't say character assassination, but how would I put it, dog? Ish.
inconsistency?
And it's
Idiot ball? And
Huh?
then one of those things that happen to make the plot go further.
but it shouldn't be
Maybe,
happening. Yes.
Because
In
you
my
feel
mind,
like the moment Barry showed up, he should have done it like in the comics where he saved people from a nuclear explosion by moving 1.3 million people in a nanosecond.
Exactly.
Do you feel like that?
Exactly.
Flash is too OP. What the fuck? Anyways, I feel like that you're fighting over something that's pretty much ubiquitous throughout every comic book. Look at Superman, for example. He's got X-ray vision. He can tell when you're gonna die. He sees you having a cardiac malfunction as you're having a conversation with him. He's not deciding to be a doctor and operate on you with the surgical precision of a fucking Kryptonian powered by the sun. He's a reporter. And that speaks to the fact that these guys, I want to say
To
the
be
word is
fair, the
human,
man
but I
is
don't
actually trained.
Okay, yeah, fair, but that's not what he's doing. He's more interested in being a reporter. He's more interested in being
No, 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 no. I
himself.
disagree. I
And
So it's
disagree.
more or
you can
less that
allow
argument of whether superheroes should be self-sacrificing to the extreme.
exactly. Oh, more than that, more than just that. I'm thinking I should be myself, and I can only be expected to be myself. I know you
I don't
see
even.
me
I,
I know you see me in this role of this messiah role. I know you see me as your hero. I know you see me as your dad. I know you see me as like I don't know, a perfect person. Or I'm supposed to fit this role that I'm expected to be in. But I'm only myself and I can only be myself to as much as I can be. For you to come in and say, "Oh no, this is the box that you fit in my world. You have to be in this particular way." I feel like it's a tall ask for anybody, and especially so superheroes who sacrifice their time, their lives, and their energy. Like, bruh,
also, let's not even forget that, guys. Gia, whether that person has a suit, whether they have a Green Lantern ring, whether they've been blessed by the gods of Olympus themselves, they are still going to be that person. That person's personality informs the decisions and the actions that they take. You're being mad at Barry Allen for being Barry Allen.
I feel like
And
this.
in the end, Barry Allen did what Barry Allen did. He always improvises. I don't understand where the dissonance is coming.
I
Where's the
no. I feel like
disconnect?
you're not
Oh, it's just
understanding me. I feel like you're not understanding me. So, running down the scene,
okay.
right? Running down the scene. What happens is Barry gets a call from Alfred, right? He runs over to the scene.
Be,
As soon as he arrives at the
be,
scene, he stops and looks around and says nothing is happening. Soon as he says that, the bottom, the floor, the ground starts to collapse. As a superhero, right? When that happens, you're telling me, looking at the hospital, there's people inside, people running out. You're not gonna actively move and try check inside the building. Is anybody still left inside to be evacuated? That's my question.
okay, so you should have basically been My Hero Academia. A true hero runs to the scene, and the first thing they think is to help people. Like it's
Exactly.
instinctual, and you expected that from him.
But
Exactly.
here's
Okay,
the thing, though. Here's the thing. When was the last time you watched The Flash?
What? The
Yesterday.
movie?
Yeah,
Yeah, yesterday.
I watched it yesterday too. He gets a call from Alfred. He shows up. Alfred says this problem is in the basement. He goes to the basement. That's the
No.
first thing he does.
No. What happens is he gets to the
Wow.
scene of the hospital, right? The hospital is fine.
There
Yes?
were problems with the underground, as in there were power cables flinging about.
No, no,
when
no, no, no.
Barry was complete.
As soon as he
Are
arrives,
you talking about afterwards?
no, no, no.
Afterwards.
Beginning of the hospital scene. Literally the beginning. As soon as he arrived, the hospital is fine. And then,
After he runs from Central City.
Yes.
What is the first thing he does?
the first thing he does, he stops in front of the hospital. And the hospital is fine.
Okay.
And then the ground
shit.
starts to collapse.
Central City.
And
Wait,
then-
is Flash in the Central City because he can like help the whole of America because it's like super
So the-
convenient for him to go
Yes.
to all the places? I'm just getting
That's
there.
what he was
crazy.
complaining about.
And then the ground starts to
crazy.
collapse, right?
Okay, the ground starts to collapse. What
And
happens
then
afterwards?
Alfred tells him, yo, there's cables under the building. You need to fix that,
Okay.
right? So my question
That's
is,
not what happened, though.
that is what happened. Look it up on YouTube. That
No,
They
the
just
minute Barry got there was an ambulance that was going to like fall in, and like there was a woman that was going to fall into the collapsing ground. He saved that woman. And he
No, no,
assessed
no,
the
no, no.
situation.
You guys are
And then
mis-
Alfred added another thing on top of that.
you guys are misremembering, because the moment he arrived, everything was
guys
fine.
listen,
Everything was fine. Remember,
Everything was not fine.
everything was fine. Like the
Yeah, it
ground
could be a
literally
comedy
collapsed.
plot, you know that, right?
Huh?
It could have been a comedic play to say, oh, what's this thing? Flash is underestimating the situation. Then boom, something crazy happens. Maybe the
Okay.
writer realizes that maybe this is not really consistent. But they put it in there because they wanted to put a loud explosion for no good reason. I mean, like, maybe it's not that big of a vex. Like,
I
maybe they know exactly what you're talking about,
I
but they
understand
decided
that,
against it
but
because they
my
wanted to.
my problem, like, if you watch that scene, he literally just stands there twiddling his thumbs. People are evacuating from the hospital, which the ground has just um collapsed. You're telling me, as a superhero, the first thing that's not gonna come to your mind is, yo, we need to evac these people. But what he does is literally just
Okay.
stands outside of the hospital, looks about, until the point at which the front of the hospital starts to collapse. Then the babies fall over. That's when he's like, oh, there's babies
No,
inside the
I just
hospital.
watched the scene right now. The moment he shows up, 5 seconds later, the ground starts collapsing, and he saves
Exactly.
this thing, an ambulance driver.
Exactly.
You know what?
Where was he
I feel
twiddling
like
his thumb?
the hyperfixation we have over this scene baffles me. Like we've talked a lot about a lot of things, but I don't understand why we still here. Like it's not
You
that
know
big
what
a
the
deal.
problem is? I will tell you exactly what the problem is. My man here
Fuck
has a
you.
problem that none of us have with this film. I promise you that is not the problem that we have with this film. And we're giving you answers as to why it's not a problem. It's not because these answers are wrong, it's because you don't like the answers.
No.
Barry Allen is Barry Allening. He is doing what Barry Allen does
He's
best.
not even very
Underestimating.
Okay. No, wait. Let me ask you a question. Junior, would you have preferred that the moment he comes in fresh from Central City, he runs into the hospital and saves everybody? Is
As
that what you would have liked to happen?
as soon as the ground starts to collapse, yes.
As soon as the ground starts collapsing, he saves a guy from this thing, an ambulance driver.
Does he? But he doesn't go inside the hospital to check if there's people inside who need to be evacuated.
People were dipping from the get-go. He does the moment he sees the ambulance driver, Alfred alerts him, shit's going down in the basement.
And what is
Like
he?
literally, I counted 5 seconds.
And what does he do after that?
He
And
flies up, looks at the hospital, and within those 5 seconds, the ground starts collapsing, and he saves this thing, an ambulance driver. And Alfred tells him shit's going down in the basement.
And then he goes to the basement and fixes that, right?
Granted, this
Right.
man's 5 seconds is hours. Our 5 seconds is hours to him.
And right,
So
my situation is that if he had went inside the hospital and evacuated everybody, the scene for the babies would have not needed to happen.
how fast do you
So you're
think?
talking about him being competent,
I'm-
not him being a bad superhero.
Huh?
Because what you're basically saying is he could have been a better hero. He could have executed the situation better.
Better, exactly.
And he had to improvise because he was not better.
No.
Yeah,
He
I'm saying you're basically saying he's an incompetent,
Exactly.
inexperienced superhero. How many jobs has this guy
No,
done?
no. It's
Batman and Superman are probably much more mature superheroes than him in this right. Saving is not easy. There's a whole thing to it.
it's not a thing of like he's incompetent or like he's undertrained. This guy has been doing superhero work for the past how many years. You can't read the room, and if an explosion is happening right in a building, if an explosion is fuck you, Bosha. What are you?
I'm looking at the gate. There's someone at the gate, and I don't want people dying.
Okay, so like, think about it like this, Abe. If I run to a scene, right, and then an explosion happens, what I perceive as the explosion is literally hours, right? But wait, what? Yes. So I have the ability to run inside and save everybody. But what I do is stand and wait outside for 2 minutes, thinking, "Oh wait, is the traffic light over there green? Do I need to fix the electric
Okay.
cable by the side?"
How about get this different perspective? Like, how about getting this different perspective? Everybody has this sportman viewer complex where they watch a football game, for example, and say, "Oh my gosh, Messi could have done that so much better. I would have so passed the ball and what." That's basically the shoes that you're talking about. You're seeing Barry Allen do Barry Allen, right? And you could have seen retrospectively, you could have seen a better way of handling the situation. But Barry Allen in that situation did not see what you're seeing, and so he acted in the best way they
And
do. A second thing,
in Junior's
he's another.
defense, I kind of get him. In Junior's defense, I kind of get
No,
him. It's that thing we were also complaining about how the Flash can't outrun a man in a motorcycle.
I get that,
Exactly.
but
Whenever
like,
we
hear me
think
on
about
the second
these
part.
speedsters, right? We're just thinking about
Mm-hmm.
time is moving at a fucking crawl. You should not
Mm-hmm.
be acting like a regular fucking person.
Mm.
Like people always think about that thing of like how Quicksilver saved the entire X mansion, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. No,
Thank
but
you,
So
then
Phil.
hear
I
me out. That's
feel
what I was
like
actually getting to my
that's the
second
The thing
point.
is,
expectation that we have when it comes to speedsters, and it's kind of why I hate the absolute existence of speedsters.
Exactly.
You shouldn't have
No, but then
fights when you're a speedster,
You shouldn't.
unless you're fighting another.
no, but then this,
There should be no
but
such
then this
thing
is
as
what I
drama
was
when
gonna
it
go
comes
to
to
my second
speedsters.
point. No, but then this is my point that I was trying to bring about. In the finals, in that same scene, right? When he finally eats the burrito, realize how time changed for him. People keep thinking that, oh no, time is always a crawl for these people. As long as they're using the ability, everything is like all the way almost stopped. But there's a rate to how time actually moves, even in the ability. The moment he ate that burrito, everything slowed down way more than before because he now had the energy. So you can't just assume, oh, hey, man's arrived at the scene and it was 5 hours for him before the explosion actually happened. Perhaps it was exactly how we experienced it. It was 2 seconds for him because in that speed of rate or that rate of speed that he was in, that's how fast it was. So you can't just assume that because I'm a speedster, I have absolute control over the experience of time and everything around it. So you have to give him the benefit of the doubt in that regard.
Nah,
not
Like
only
bro.
that,
not all.
also, not only that, also, but like, come on, guys, please. There are over 1,000 things happening in that thing. Of course, he has
Right.
like the benefit of seeing things quicker than other people, and time slows to a crawl for him. But at the end of the day, hindsight is still 2020. There are a couple of things that you will not be able to see, and that's always like in every single superhero film. There is always an aspect of that. I cannot like I don't like this movie. I can't believe you guys are literally defending it. I don't like it. But the fact that you guys expect Barry Allen to be the perfect superhero, when it's been stated over 1,000 times that Barry Allen is not the perfect superhero, it just doesn't make any
Right.
sense to me.
It's not a
It
thing
really
of
just doesn't make
he's supposed to be the perfect hero, but with given the abilities that he has, mistakes like this should not be happening.
and yet they are.
Fuck you.
Because why?
Now-
He's imperfect. Yeah. That's it.
Now-
That's literally our whole argument. You expect better from him, but he ain't gonna be that guy. Just like drop it.
Because it's Barry Allen. Well, he's this Barry
I
Allen
get
at the
it.
very least.
One of the other things that I didn't like about the film was the tooth joke. I don't know if you guys remember it.
I did.
I feel like it's
That was
very.
cute.
It was cute,
That was
Yeah.
so fucking inconsequential.
dog.
How is that a problem for you, man?
Not.
That was cute.
I just
He
don't
doesn't
find.
like that movie. It's not like it destroyed the movie.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not-
Nah, but like, it's just a very nitpicky thing.
Nah, dog.
Bro,
I just feel like they.
Stay saying that. Stay saying that. This man is nitpicking, brah. My God. My God. Get it together.
I feel
Get
like
together, G.
that was very cringy, and
The
it did
joke
not
that
need to
literally
be.
has 7 seconds of screen time.
It was very cringy, and it did not. It does not belong within the film. It did not need to be within the film.
How does it not belong in the film of a man who vibrates naked down to his neighbor's?
That's funny.
To his neighbor's house
That's funny.
and comes up with a pan around his dick.
That's funny because it's based around Barry's abilities, and it's also based around the fact that young Barry is learning how to use his powers. That's story wise, bro. That joke.
So wait, Gia.
Joke naturally.
Gia,
No.
you're mad at Barry Allen, who's known to be cringy and not funny sometimes.
No, 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 no,
For
no.
being cringy
No, no, no,
and
no, no,
not
no,
being
no,
funny
no, no, no.
sometimes.
I'm mad at the joke. I'm mad at the fact that the tooth with test screenings with the director managed to find its way to the final cut. That joke was not needed, bro. That's
What do you
literally
mean by that?
that's literally your last 2 seconds of your film. A tooth falling out of your
Why?
main character's item,
What's wrong with it?
and you think that's gonna get people on your side? No,
What's wrong with it?
it did not need to be in the
I
film.
actually don't even know what you guys are talking about. I ain't even seen this shit.
I remember it.
I saw this
It's like
scene.
the most inconsequential joke ever.
It did not
It
need
doesn't
to
even
be.
last more than 5 seconds,
It
bro.
did not need to be in the
Nothing
I
film.
give
more
it
than 5
7. Give it 7 seconds.
Why is it a problem? I want to know what the problem is. What is the problem?
He
You gotta
doesn't
love
like the
him.
joke, and he feels like it ruined this movie because it was the last thing that we saw.
Exactly. Well,
I hope that's not. I genuinely hope that's not a point that you wrote down where you said the tooth joke just didn't make me having a shit. I hope you didn't write that down. I genuinely hope you didn't write that down because if you did, not only am I disappointed, I don't think I want to watch another movie with you in the room. I really hope you didn't. Honest to God, I hope you didn't.
I literally wrote,
Did
"Fuck,
you?
fuck that tooth joke."
It's crying,
Why
like
do I
rubbing
feel
it
like
off
you've
with his
been
pencil
jumping
right now.
on
Like,
Junior
don't
this
put too
entire
much-
thing?
Hey, bro's fighting me, bro. Like,
No, you deserve to be fought.
fuck you.
What the hell is this? What the hell, Junior? There's so many legitimate reasons as to why this film did not do well, but you chose the most when I tell you it is nothing but a speck. A speck. And
I
the
have
most
a question.
inconsequential speck. God.
Let's move on to something just a little bit more serious. I have a question. Do you think young Barry was crushing on Supergirl?
Yes, he was.
Shit, I would. Damn.
Nigga, he tried to change the timeline
For
her.
her,
What are you
exactly.
talking about? Like, isn't that like a part of the
No.
plot?
But here's the thing that I've been kind of thinking about, and it just kind of reminds me of what's it called? It just kind of reminds me of like Legend of Korra, whereby like it seems like the only thing that people realize is when it comes to sort of like these romantic movies, people will just look at attractive man, attractive girl, they're together, and that's a relationship.
But no, I
Wait,
don't.
which relationship was this?
What's it called? If Supergirl was Superboy, would people consider that Barry crushing on Supergirl?
Huh?
Like everything, if everything went down the way that it did, but the only difference would be the gender gender
Yeah.
change of Supergirl to Superboy.
Yeah.
Would people still think they were crushing on each other?
I think the implication, yes.
Obviously, no.
Yes.
No, I think it would stop becoming about I love this girl. It'd be more about I need to save him because the world is at stake. But
No.
Yeah, just
I
assume
also believe that if I was
heterosexuality. Like attractive girl, attractive boy,
Yeah, no.
that kind of relationship.
yeah, wait, I'm lost. What did you say?
It's just that expectation of heterosexual relationships, whereby
Nah, Miles was crushing on her.
Yeah,
He
he was
was
definitely
for
crushing on
sure.
her.
Like in many different other scenes, he was actually infatuated with her. He would stare at her for long.
I
There was
even get
acting
the
that was
whole "we're making this for our kids" thing.
That was funny, bro.
My thing is
I
that
don't remember that scene.
The part where he
Okay,
was taking a
I'm
video
gonna
of
watch
her.
this.
I'm just conflated because I didn't feel chemistry, and I felt like they were telling me that there was chemistry there.
No.
Bingo.
Okay.
They weren't saying
Say
there was
that. Say
chemistry.
that. Don't say.
They weren't saying there
There was
was
no chemistry.
chemistry. He was just saying that Barry, young Barry's version likes Supergirl. There was no
Okay.
hint of chemistry. It was just a crush thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Was
mean the thing is, I see where you're coming from, and you're trying to like make the argument to say, okay, fine, if the roles were reversed or if the situation was different, what would happen? Yeah, I don't think Barry would try so hard to save her if it was a he instead. I think he would have thought, oh shit, Superman is gone. Let's try and figure out how to save the world another way. You know what
But
I mean?
because
That's what I think would have happened.
But because it's a girl, he tries extra hard.
Yeah, and then whilst he was doing that, he kind of got lost in the activity. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
at some point
okay.
he kind of basically forgot about why he was doing it. He just realized that he had to do it.
Huh.
He forgot about the reasoning because he
Huh.
probably didn't even remember her face in a real like proper way. He probably didn't even give a damn, but
Huh.
he just wanted to be able to save her. He's thinking, I have godlike abilities, I can save her, and it's not really about her anymore.
Yeah, it's not
And
about
I think
I
that
have a
also
crush on
speaks to
her
the fact
anymore.
that
Yeah.
yeah, and it also speaks to the fact that like that's kind of the reasoning why he kept going about it. At first, he did it for love, but the truth of the fact of the matter is he did it because he overestimated his ability, or he thought he had the ability to change the past,
I
and he
think
just couldn't accept it.
it's also implied that because he overheard older Barry being he overheard older Barry by the fact that his mom died. He doesn't want that reality for
Mm,
himself.
mm.
I was
And
gonna
he also is the living embodiment of the fact that the mom can live.
yeah.
Let's think about that. He looks at the older Flash and he says, "Shit, bro, you actually got what you wanted because I'm here today.
Mm,
So why can't I also have
what I want.
my happily ever after?
Mm.
Why should you get to thinking and then I don't?" But I feel like that's also a misconception on his part because at the end of the day, he wouldn't travel back in time if he actually did get that. He just created a different universe. So
I was gonna ask something. I was gonna what was I
check
gonna
the notes underneath the tooth thing. It's probably underneath the tooth thing. Yeah.
say?
and I and I just saw the scene. I see why it's not that bad, but even I don't like that scene. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
it's not gonna make me hate the film,
Thank you.
but I don't like the scene.
Thank you.
I
Some
agree with you. I agree with you, Mr. Holt, but it's not
Don't
worth bringing it
enable
up.
him. Please don't enable
No,
him.
but like it's a
He
useless
literally
ass
will
scene.
not like. I promise you, he will not shut up about it for the next 15 years. Just leave
Nobody
it to him.
is saying the joke was good. We're just saying that it's
Okay.
inconsequential as shit.
No one is exactly. No one is saying that the joke was the best thing. Fuck, Dave Chappelle would laugh at it. No, it just
Yeah,
doesn't matter. In
it
the
don't matter.
grand scheme of things, it don't matter.
It don't matter. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
um
Okay.
I had one question but I forgot it, guys. Hey.
Oh, Shem.
What was the question? Try and remember.
Um
You have our audience. Was it like what brought you to think about that question? What were we talking
we were
about?
talking about the Flash and I think specifically to do with like
No shit.
fuck you. uh, um uh does anybody else have anything to say?
Listen, in all honesty, can I be frank? Can
Okay.
I speak
Yes, yes,
frankly?
yes, yes, be frank.
Like, can just guys, I feel like whenever we talk about the Flash, this iteration of the Flash,
Hmm.
there's some people, I see you, Junior. There's some people who will go out of their way when met with like with proper points that tell you that this is not a good film,
Hmm.
but they will defend it not because they think it's a good film, but out of spite. And we really need to stop doing that. Like,
So
this film wasn't that great. You know this film ain't.
no, no, no,
You
no,
know
no.
this film is not S2. You know damn well this film is
Legitimately,
not
I
S2.
disagree. I
And
think this.
I think it's a good solid C. It's a good C film. It was great. I
I
think
don't know.
it was
C is
just
too low.
fine.
Okay,
I think
my
objectively,
question actually was gonna be, if we compare it, this version of the film, if we compare it to Flashpoint, the comic, Flashpoint, the animated movie, and the Flash's version, I think season three's version of Flashpoint, which one do you guys think is the best?
damn.
I
That's
go
tough.
with animated film.
The animated
Yep.
film.
Followed by the
It's
Yeah.
followed. I don't know, man. I actually really liked the movie version. I would say it's second to the animated film, actually.
Hmm. So, what qualities about the animated
Yeah,
film make it better than this one?
whole lot more
Um,
consistent. I feel like
yeah, much more consistent.
that's
And
basically it.
Barry
Like,
Allen wasn't Barry Allen wasn't insufferable in that one, so that's great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
So,
it. The thing is, there's not a lot of things you can say wrong about the animated film because it's
Yeah.
so hard to get a live action film right to begin with. So I
So
don't even know if it's
true.
a fair. Yeah, yeah. It's not even a fair
So
comparison,
true.
and
mm,
That's why whenever I judge a film, I first ask myself if I just watched it standalone.
mm,
It has nothing to do with anything else outside
Mm,
of there. Where does it
mm,
rank in? I would say it's a B movie, a C plus at most, you know. And then only when you start comparing it with other things does it start climbing the ranks because then you're now comparing it with a much more smaller what's this thing population pool, and
mm,
that's unfair. I
mm.
mean, if I pick four random guys, one of them was going to be probably better than all of them, right? But like just and I can't call that guy an S tier nigga because if I really like bring in the whole population of like all human beings, then obviously that guy's not S tier. You see where I'm coming from? So
Okay,
like the
okay,
mm.
rating system is so stupid. So stupid.
okay. I would place it as second as well. Just under the animated film because
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's emotionally the first the animation film is not as emotionally impactful as this one, but it's more
The movie.
spectacle. It's more spectacle. But this one is more emotionally impactful.
Mm, okay. Okay.
Mm,
Okay.
I can see why you would say that, and I respect that.
yeah.
Really, I do.
All right.
You cheeky
Yeah.
bastard.
The funny thing with me is like when it comes to the Flash TV show one, I
Uh-huh.
rank it at 4, but I enjoyed it more. Not for anything about it or anything that followed afterwards, because it was like a 2 episode thing at the beginning of the season.
Hmm.
I think
Okay.
the only thing that I enjoyed about it, and the thing that just brings my enjoyment level of the entire thing to it all, is after Barry realizes he's losing his powers and shit's about to go down, so he has to go to Earbot Thawne and beg him, literally beg the man to kill his mother. I gained so much
Ma.
sadistic joy from that my enjoyment level of the entire experience was fucking wonderful.
You need therapy, bro.
I had no idea that actually happened. I didn't watch that. Okay, that's
I just
crazy.
love I love consequences. I love consequences.
Hey,
Who told the Flash
That
he
makes
could be
sense.
fucking around with the timeline, dog?
That's true.
Who told him he could be
That's
doing
true.
that shit?
so also I wanted to
That's
ask
true.
in because in the
That's
movie they never answer this, but who actually kills Barry's mom?
They'll
They
probably
don't.
address that in a part two if it ever shows up. I doubt.
I
I
don't see
don't
it
know.
part two happening, man.
In the
What was
film
that about?
Honestly,
What was that about?
everybody knows this for a fact. I
in the
don't
f-
think there is.
in the film
But
they
like,
don't address it, right? But what about in the comic? Who kills her?
isn't it Reverse Flash? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
No, no,
isn't
no.
it?
In the animated movie, it's just some random guy. So that's why
No ways. Some random guy.
yeah, some random guy walks in, and then in the animated film, some random guy kills Barry's mom, and then in the Flash, this TV show, it's Reverse Flash. So I'm wondering, in the comic, who was it?
I don't actually
Oh,
remember.
Wait, I
You
remember. Um,
Google. I summon your ability.
wait, which comic? Which comic? Because we gotta remember what there were many runs of the DC comics, right? Which era are we talking about?
Exactly.
you're asking me
It was
difficult
before the New
questions.
52. It literally led into the New 52, so it must have been around 2010.
Probably the rebirth era, right?
No, Rebirth is 2016.
Wait, wasn't
Flashpoint
it
2016 to 2018 was Rebirth.
So you're saying
Oh
you
yeah,
don't
you're
remember?
right. You're right. You're right.
New 52 2011 to 2016. Before then, what was it? Post crisis.
Who was it? Who? Let me check. Let me check. Let me check.
But
Let me
it
check.
keeps saying Reverse Flash. All of
It's
them
saying
just saying
Reverse
Reverse
Flash.
Flash.
Okay. Because I think in the film
Was
they
it?
never address it.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, thank you. I appreciate for the time you've given us, time you've given me, and so I wanted to ask what time and what date is preferable for you guys. Do you guys want to do this every Sunday, or every Saturday, or both?
Sunday for me.
Sunday
I'm
makes
done with
more
most
sense.
days.
What are we gonna do next week? What's the topic? Because obviously I haven't had the time to watch movies. I should probably watch movies today because I won't be able to do it next week. Because like
Um,
work's like a motherfucker.
so what would happen is I'd like either choose from something we've already seen before to accommodate everybody. Like as you're saying, you're having exams,
Okay.
and Bosha is also busy, I think. So what I can do is ask each and every one of you to like recommend one, two, or three, and then from there, I discuss amongst all of you to see which one would be best. So Sunday
Okay.
next week, 10 a.m. I guess by the end of today, I'll give you guys like a topic.
All right.
All right then.
Yes.
Be it.
Yeah. Remember last week when I said that we should watch drama movies?
Yes.
Please.
Again, I put American Psycho.
okay.
Let's not do that. That was a dumb fucking idea.
Why?
Be so
Why,
for
though?
real. Be so for real. Be so
That
for
was a
real.
dumb idea, man. Honestly, in my defense, I just thought we were gonna be people that actually watch movies, and it's like the reason I watched The Flash yesterday is because I didn't watch it the entire week. I downloaded it, but I just didn't want to watch it.
You didn't want
I'm not gonna watch drama.
Oh.
It's hard,
But
right?
then there's
It's,
some drama movies that are actually good. They're actual proper tearjerkers. They're actual stories that
nah,
are meant to
bro.
be read. You know what I mean?
I
So
don't
I'll be
care,
really
Abe. I'm not
depending
gonna
on
watch
you
shit,
for
dog.
like.
I don't have that thing in me that makes me want to watch shit.
Exactly, bro. You feel me?
Hey, I was
Wait,
married
is
to
it
the
just
last
for
week.
dramas or like just movies in general?
No, I'm tired of movies in general. I was specifically not gonna watch dramas.
Well then.
Like, how you not want to watch movies, Lesotho, when like that's like your whole thing? Like,
Hey, calm down,
explain
calm
that to
down.
me.
Why am I being attacked? Okay, guys,
I
thank
mean,
you.
to be
Fine, I'm
fair,
sorry.
you're the same guy that complained about a tooth joke, so I don't know how we're supposed to take it.
You know,
J- I will,
I
I
still
will,
hate that
I will
shit,
put
but-
Cora into this conversation and see what happens.
Watch me not
Then we
react.
start.
Watch me not react. The way I will be so unbothered. Watch me not react.
Face.
Okay, guys, thank you, thank
Oh
you.
yeah, apparently the new Avatar is coming, and they like revamped everything, and they're trying to do it like the proper way now. They got like
Yeah.
a good ethnical background cast and shit like that.
The live action
I'm
one.
looking
I'm
forward
not
to it a
going
little
to.
bit.
You're not
I'm
gonna
not
watch
going
it?
to.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not going to, dog.
What? Phil?
I
they're all
don't do
coming
live
up with a
action.
new Avatar.
I don't do live action.
Nah, bro. It's
It's-
Netflix,
apparently
bro.
the One
I
Piece
learned
live
my
action
lesson.
is
I learned my lesson with Cowboy Bebop. I'm not doing that
No,
shit
but-
again.
That shit
But
was
here's the
actually
thing,
fire,
apparently
though.
Netflix redeemed itself with One Piece for
Yeah.
those who fuck with One Piece.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm still not gonna watch it though.
Nah, bro. Nah.
Ma. Okay. But
I-
then
I'll
there's
give-
also
I'll
like a
give-
new
I'll
new
give it
Avatar, that's a third one, from the Earth Kingdom. That one I want to see what they're gonna do with that one.
That one is
Because they always try to
animated,
take
huh?
A different spin. Animated, yeah. There's gonna be a third Avatar now. There's gonna
It's
be a
wait,
third
was
one.
it a
I
film
wanna see
or
how
it
they go
was?
with that one. So
Wait, are you talking about the Adventures of Genji?
No,
I
no,
am
no.
talking
That's
about
that's
the
that's
third
not
Avatar.
that's fiction. That's fan fiction. Not
Okay.
thing.
Wait, what do you mean by the Earth Kingdom Avatar?
As in,
Yeah, there's
Earth,
gonna be
first it's
Avatar
air,
Earth Kingdom.
water, earth, and fire. We're literally talking about the one after Korra. Like,
Wait, we're
the
not
guys
talking
who
about the
made Avatar.
Netflix series adaptation. There's legitimately something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's legitimately something you should look forward to it.
Ah,
Get excited.
It's animated.
you know, one thing I found myself
Yeah.
doing last week was bitching about how they could this thing how they canceled Symbiotic Titan, and now I'm
Yeah.
just thinking, that, isn't there was that era with Cartoon Network having action shows during the 2010s, the
Yeah.
early 2010s, and most of them never lasted a season, and I
True.
fucking hate them for it. But if they were to bring them back, I don't think I'd watch them.
Really?
Interesting. But then that's because you've outgrown them.
Oh
You
shit!
you've
Yeah,
moved past
actually.
them.
But
Do you
I,
It
think
makes
that's
me
the
cry,
case with
though. It makes
Avatar?
me cry sometimes that I can't even watch anime because I have outgrown it.
I wouldn't mind seeing an animated version of like something in the Avatar universe. Cause the last one we got was
Yeah.
trash.
They always bring something new.
Cause the last one we
They
got was
always bring
trash.
something new. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Uh-huh.
Cause Legend
I'm
of
gonna
Korra
say
was
this about
trash.
Legend of Korra: it is unfairly judged and
Legend
criticized.
of Korra was trash, bro.
Hey man, we were here for Flash and American Psycho, man. We ain't gonna start this now. We ain't gonna start this.
I, I,
We
I,
don't need to
I'm,
start this today.
I should put it as like one of the topics we should do. Like watch one season of like
Well,
Korra and then talk.
Nah, I said it's unfairly judged. I didn't say that they were wrong.
It would.
I said it's unfairly judged.
And that's why we should probably have it. I also love the fact that, like, I don't know if it's just me, but I love the fact that we tried to bring two completely unrelated films together. I
Yeah.
don't know if we did a good job at it now, but I want to have another take of that. Like, we can do like Korra and some other thing, like, I don't know, Teletubbies or some shit. Like, I don't give a fuck what it is. it's gotta be something else, bro.
There's thematically they're the same, but they're on two different paths.
You know, it's just, the philosophy is exactly the same. You know how it takes me. Like, yeah, of course.
No.
Holy
Actually,
shit, there are this, though.
Teletubbies,
There's
Teletubbies,
one
and Attack on
Teletubbies.
Titan, bro.
Oh hell! Can I Teletubbies are 7 feet tall? I feel like we could go about this forever, bro. That's crazy, man.
Given the fact that we have a Legend of Korra defender here, I think we should.
Bruh. We should host the
Bosha would die on that hill, dog. No matter what I say, this guy will not budge on the fact that I think that Legend of Korra is trash, and he's like, nah.
Emma Pele. This is the first and last time I'm going to say this. That show is not perfect whatsoever. It is not better than Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
Heck, it's not perfect at all. But it's not bad either.
It's
just
ass,
mixed.
bro.
It's
ass.
It's okay.
It's ass sprinkled with
That's
salt.
a reasonable take, though.
Go ahead.
Hey, yo,
That's a reasonable take.
I-
That's what I
now
meant by
actually
it's
gotta
unfairly
leave now.
judged.
Nah, dog.
Wait, what?
No, I was just saying that the reason why
Like, I gotta leave, like, right now. Like,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna-
Oh yeah.
I'd
We
see you
bid on
guys.
this.
Thank you guys
We'll
for
circle back on
everything.
that legend.
Thank you guys for everything. See you guys next week Sunday.
All right.
Oh, yeah.